Nothing can stop me. No. 'Cause I'm addicted to what you and I realize. Lead the way, I follow. No need to say where we are heading now, babe. I follow to the edge of it all. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what, yeah. Susceptible now, before the moment flies, before it flies. So tell your good night, 'cause I'll find no matter what. Susceptible now, before the moment flies.
All right. This is a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday night. Shout out to all you guys that are here watching Andre and Andre's Love Crossing Borders. Glad to see you, gentlemen and ladies, in the place. I wanted to start off this live stream. I had such a good day today, man. I just want to let you guys know, man, I love you guys. I know a lot of times content creators don't start off with the mushy stuff, but I do this episode. If it were not for you men that were military, you men who are YouTubers, you men who traveled long before I did, I would have never thought about it. If it wasn't for you guys that were the first ones to go on camera and say, hey, there's a place called Dominican Republic. There's a place called Colombia. There's a place called Thailand. I wouldn't have known about it. I would have known about a lot of these places if it wasn't for other men and other women introducing me and letting me know that I had options. And I want to say thank you for that, man. Every one of you guys that served and came back with stories that were not just about you serving, but you came back with stories about the countries that you'd ventured off into. If it wasn't for you guys, I would not have known. 2016 election came, President Trump had won, and I turned my television off that night. I never turned it back on until I got a television in that living room. I didn't look at another television screen. Let's put it like this. I didn't look at television again until in the United States until the Black Manosphere Conclave. That's how long it had been since I watched actual television while being in the United States. Because during that 2016 election, I realized all the things that I gleaned off of you military guys and all you guys and ladies that traveled before I did, and all you expats and digital nomads, when that was the fad, all the things that I learned from you, I realized I was not going to learn from the politicians. So I turned my television off and I started learning from you and all the advice that you have. That's what we're trying to do here on Love Crossing Borders. We're trying to let men and women know that they have options, just like you guys did for me, and the same thing that you're doing for my wife, Andrea. And tonight we're going to be talking about that because over 50% of Americans surveyed are saying, yeah, it ain't looking as good as it used to look. We're going to look at some stats, some surveys that have been taken, some global surveys. And of course, we're going to look at some videos. But before we do, let's get some music going on here because we got some intros to get into. Shout out to all you guys for supporting by way of PayPal, Cash App, and Super Chats. We appreciate that, gentlemen. We really do. Let's get us some intro music going. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. Shout out to all you guys here, man. Making each other's night. David Dice is in the building. Numero uno. Number one in the building. Shout out to you. He said, I was thinking the same thing, Bobby Coltrane. Shout out to Bobby Coltrane being in the building as well. And shout out to my man Kenny Peoples, who always sending me some great videos to check out. Shout out to Kenny Peoples. He said, I'm trying to get my second citizenship passport. That's what I'll be working on next year. Yes, sir. He said, in residency, I have my residency now. What's the difference between the residency in most countries and the citizenship? What's the difference between the residency and the citizenship? Because both of them, you're in the country for the rest of your life as long as you want to. You can come in. I don't have to fill out another visa for Colombia ever again. My visa days are done. I'm on the residency. They changed my ID from the M, migrant visa, to the R. My ID, if you look at my ID, has an R on it now, meaning resident. If I go to another country and I get a residency, I have the right to be in that country as long as I want to. I can leave, come back, never have to fill out a visa. So what's the difference? What's the benefit of getting citizenship? Citizenship does give you the right to vote. It opens up doors when it comes to business investments, as far as loans, housing loans, building your credit. Even though I have a credit line as a resident, even though I have credit cards as a resident, even though I'm able to purchase things, whether I was a resident or, like in many of you cases, just having a visa. But I do get two things as a citizen. I get the passport and I get the right to vote. And I can also say I also get a chance to be represented in court, because it'd be great to have rights in the courts as far as being a citizen compared to being a resident. And so those are the differences between the two. You have a lot of benefits when it comes to being a resident, but that being able to vote and having that passport and having the judicial system behind your back in that new country is a good thing. Shout out to Kenny. Without having visited the country, can someone give me information on that? It depends on the country. There are a lot of countries out there that allow you to buy your way in. That's one way of getting your citizenship. Other countries allow you to take the 23andMe test, where you swab yourself and you send it in and you find out that your family, a part of your family is from Ireland, so you can fill out the form and let them know that, hey, I'm 1/3 Irish / Moroccan. So a lot of people are taking their 23andMe results and they're reaching out to the countries and saying, hey, my grandpappy was down here doing some things he ain't had no business doing. I'm part Yugoslavian or whatever it may be, you know. So a lot of people are actually doing it. So you can invest. You can do it by with inheritance. In other words, you by lineage, by using 23andMe. But the one thing that you do want to do, you want to at least visit that country to see even if you want to have a second passport or residency in that country. For example, you can get it fast in Uruguay and Paraguay. It's super fast. But do you want to live there? A lot of white people are moving down there now. A lot of people are moving down there now. Shout out to once again to Kenny and buenas noches to you as well, mi amigo. Thelonious is in the building. He says, shout out Andre, David, as well as Kenny people. Shout out to the chat room, because chat lives matter here. Shout out to you guys. Glad that you all are here. Tubing is a habit is in the building. Shout out to you. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Shout out to you, brother. And Timothy Bright always lets us know Avengers assemble. Yes, sir. We are assembled here tonight. We got a great topic. Once again, why is it that 50% of Americans are saying, listen, I'm ready to go. I don't know how I'm going to leave. I don't know when I'm going to leave, but I'm ready to leave. Here's the kicker. We're going to look at an article, 2025 article. I didn't know this one. Women are more tired of the United States than men. Women are more tired of the United States than men. I don't know if men, feel obligated because we serve the country. We've built the country with our bare hands. Or women feel like, listen, I'm a woman. I don't feel safe here. I got my kids to worry about. I don't know. I don't know what to worry about. Shout out to my man being in the building, Timothy Bright. T-Mac is in the building. Shout out to you, brother, being here. Appreciate you being here, my brother over there in Medellin. Like you said, you're looking forward to meeting me and Richie Mac. When we come to Medellin in September, we're looking forward to meeting you guys as well. We really are. My man Neo, Moses is in the building. He say, forever grateful for the options and opportunity to help others on the same path. Absolutely correct, man. If it was not for you guys, man, I'm just in a grateful mood right now. If it were not for you men, man, dude, ooh, I don't know where my life would be. This is the crazy part. I know I'd be making money. Cool. I know I'd be smashing chicks. Cool. I'd probably be riding around in my convertible or my F-150. I wouldn't be happy. That's the part. I won't even lie. That's probably the part that's the most. I had the material things, the house in the suburbs of Tampa. I had all the material things that you would think. I'm going to the beach every other weekend. I'm running through all my female coworkers. You can't get no more. Listen, I worked at a college campus. You can't get no more. I'm smashing students and I'm smashing my coworkers. You can't get no more coochie than that, right? You should be happy. I did not have peace. I did not have peace. Shout out to you guys. Now I have so much peace. Black Empowerment 01 in the building. He said, right back at you, Dre. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Tory Brown of the Brown family, first of his name, is in the building. Shout out to you. He said, love you, Dre and Andrea. He said, love both you brothers and sisters. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, gentlemen, man. Me and Andrea went to the dentist today. One thing I can say about Andrea, man, me and Andrea stay in the dentist's office, dude. We stay, dude. We probably go to the dentist at least 5-6 times a year. we always at the dentist's office, man. I didn't know this. When you are a person that has high blood pressure and you're taking a high blood pressure medication, it builds plaque on the back of your teeth. So you have to always make sure that you're flossing. You always have to go to the to the dentist to get the plaque on the back of your teeth taken care of when you're taking high blood pressure medication, such as some of us. Take care of your health, gentlemen. It's all we got. Oh man, Alexis is in the building. Shout out to you. Glad you're here. We say hello, everyone in the chat. Andre. Shout out to Thelonious with the $5 love. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Support Black Male Media. Yes, sir, gentlemen.
Oprah coming next.
Oprah coming next.
Once I establish this as a place of truth, oh yeah.
T-Mac says, can you get a passport with citizenship? Yes. As soon as I get my citizenship, immediately I can apply for my passport. Immediately I can apply for my passport and I can apply for the right to vote. I already paid taxes. Well, let's put it like this. I already filed taxes. But since I got, like I always say, since I got a tax accountant as a wife, do I really pay taxes in Colombia? Do I really pay? No. No, by the time Andre get done with the numbers, I haven't paid. I haven't paid. And even those of you that come to Colombia and you think, man, if I stay for 6 months, that means I'm gonna have to file taxes. Even the only reason you have to file taxes in Colombia, y'all ready? Here we go. Don't forget this. This is very important. The only way you have to file taxes in Colombia is if you've opened up a Colombian bank account and money's going into that bank account. Because remember, Colombians tax on the bank account, not your American bank account. But if you live in Colombia and you have a Colombian bank account, like many of us do, they tax you on your bank account. That's why when Colombians, and I mentioned this before, that's why when Colombians get a job, most of them get paid direct deposit or under the table, but direct deposit. Why? Because their version of the IRS during September and tax season is coming up this September and October, right? Like my date is October, right? And so they look into your bank account, see how much money you had in your bank account, whether you're a citizen or not, and they tax what went into your bank account. Here's the kicker. As long as I don't go over $11,000 or $12,000 a year, I don't necessarily have to file tax. If I go over that threshold, that's when I have to file taxes. And usually it's the amount that I went over. So let's say I went to 13,000, like last year, 13,000, 15,000 into my Colombian bank account. Like I use my American bank account for all my money, but a lot of times I can transfer down here using Remitly and Wise and all those other apps, right? So follow me. So October comes. If I hit 13,000, that means I'm 2,000 over. I get taxed on that extra 2,000. A lot of people think that if you're here in Colombia, you get taxed on your U.S. monies. No, you don't. You get taxed on if and your use of your Colombian bank accounts. That's how Colombians get taxed. The regular, everyday Colombians, they give them all their money into their bank account. When they get their paycheck, it's not like the States. They take in the States, they take the taxes out of your check, right? They don't do that in Colombia. In Colombia, they take out the medical, they take out your pension. They take out your medical and they take out your pension. And Colombia has another one that's a part of the pension too, which I really like. Colombia takes out a part of their paycheck to go towards the first purchase of their home. In other words, all these years that Andrea and all these Colombians have been working their jobs, let's say they're taking $10 out per month, $5 out per month. Since Andrea started her first job, let's say 16. She's 30 right now. All that money goes towards the purchase or the down payment for the first home. Man, I wish we did that in the States. I wish they think about it. When you started your first little job, 17, 18, 20, 16, and they have been taking not only your Social Security out, but taking out a little small chunk to go towards the down payment of your first home in the United States. Oh man, that would have been gravy. Gravy. Let me shut this Discord down. It's driving me crazy. Thought it was shut down. I got to turn off these messages coming from Discord. They're just popping up. You guys can't hear it, but it's just going in and out of my ear. But so that's what they do in Colombia. So as long as you don't, you can open up a Colombian bank account. As long as you don't go over that 11,000 going for that year going into your bank account, you should be good. I'm not a tax accountant. I'm not your tax professional, but I'm just a man that can tell you by experience. After being here almost 9 years, I've only had to file taxes and even pay taxes per se 1 year. That was last year. Last year was the only year that I had to pay on. Last year was the only year that I had to pay on taxes. Shout out to you guys. He say, Dre, you have the big R on the ID. Yes, sir. It feels so good. Yes, it does, Tori. Yes, it does, my friend. I wouldn't even lie to you. I thought I turned that off. Discord notifications are driving me crazy. All right. Shout out to my man Ronan being in the building, doing what Ronan does. And Ronan is the traveler, man. I hope everything is going great out there for you in the Philippines, man. Hope you living your best life, brother. I kid you not, man. I'm so happy for you. I'm still happy. And I know it's been a couple weeks, but I'm still dancing in the streets for you. Shout out to you. I'm trying to catch that Discord too. That keep popping up. Okay. Now it doesn't pop up. It just does the sounds of it pop up. Okay, I'm done. Shout out to my man Timothy once again. He said, have you been to church lately? With Andre. If so, how those Latinas looking at you? Oh, we talking to T-Mac. Yeah, it took us about a couple years to find a church that we wanted to go. I didn't put on the cologne today. Andre, which Baccarat 540 do you like best? And I actually have the collection down here of Mason Francis Kirk John, who is the perfumer for Baccarat 540. When we were in London, I actually I paid $200 for the gift set of 10 millimeters. So these are nice size millimeters. So you open up the box, got the little message from him. Little message. I know you guys can't see that because of the light. I've already used up one of the colognes. So that's why you see one empty. And you see one is almost gone, which is which one is this? Oh, this one is a different one. This is actually old school Armani code. But I have Baccarat 540 right here. We got the Baccarat 540 right here. And like I said, these are really huge samplers. And I think I might rock tonight because they all smell really good, man. They all smell like a GQ magazine. I might rock which one is this? The gentle fluidity. Let's see how it smells. Oh man, that's good. Oh man. The cologne of the night is by the same person that makes the Baccarat 540. I'm rocking the gentle fluidity. Shout out to you. And I really, as you can tell, I really touched the Baccarat 540, and there's a reason for it. I'll tell you why. Baccarat, of course, is excellent. Is one of the top 3 colognes of the last 10, 15 years. Number 1 is Creed Aventus. Number 2 is Sauvage and Sauvage Elixir. And number 3, top colognes, even though a lot of them are up there, but the top selling cologne is Baccarat 540. But the reason I don't wear the Baccarat is because, let's talk about that real quick. We already talked about the clone for Aventus, which is Club de Nuit Intense, like $20, right? And then you have the clone to Baccarat 540, which is Club de Nuit Untold. Untold. I would rather rock this than rock this. This is kind of crazy. They smell 99% the same. However, this one is a little bit more subtle. And that's a crazy thing to say about Baccarat 540 because you can smell it down the street. But that Untold, that burnt candy, man, listen, you could definitely smell that. It projects. It definitely projects, but in a positive way. So instead of spending for the bottle of Baccarat, the $150 for the Baccarat 540, I would rather get the Untold. Me personally, I would rather have this one instead of Creed Aventus and the Intense, and I would rather have the Untold instead of Baccarat 540. I kid you not. I'm not just saying it to be saying it, but I wear these far more than I wear the Baccarat 540. And I wear the Creed Aventus. The Creed Aventus is just like to say I have it in my collection now. And the reason why I say that with Creed Aventus is because remember at one point in time, everybody was wearing it. It was called the ex-boyfriend's cologne. Why? Because that cologne, Sauvage and Creed Aventus was called the ex-boyfriend colognes because every ex-boyfriend wore it, right? Like every female could be like, that's the cologne my boyfriend wore because it was so famous. Both of them were so famous. So I stopped wearing Aventus and I stopped wearing Sauvage and Sauvage Elixir because every dude had it in his collection. And so it was with with Baccarat 540. Even in Colombia, every time you turn around, somebody's somewhere at a party or at the club, and you can smell that Baccarat 540, and you're like, man, I'm not trying to smell like everybody. So yes, sir. Shout out to my man Paper Rock being in the building. He said, I think geology and lineage, yep, strategy is best option. Yes, sir. Best option for the simple fact some countries will probably reject U.S. citizens. That's true. That's true. And I know I just looked at on TikTok a sister with her 23andMe, and she got her, I forgot what country, but she got her lineage and she got her citizenship. Like, she had never been to that country. She had never been there, but she reached out to them. And I've already looked up countries in Africa. Once you do the 23andMe, I already looked up the steps that need to be taken. We need to do an episode on that. We need to do an episode on once you do the 23andMe, what next? What steps need to be taken? Because I already looked up the steps that several countries have in regards to that. I just haven't done a live stream on it. Shout out to you guys. My man Tori, he says, women tired of the U.S. Yeah, we know why for most of them. Yes, sir. Can't get a man. Can't keep a man. My man Timothy Bright once again says this. I'm being nosy. Whenever I see the app sign, I know that you guys are talking to each other, not me. He said, I think ninjas shall inherit the U.S. during its last. I believe so too. Let me go through these super chats real quick. Yeah, that Baccarat is good. He said the perfume, the clear bottle. Yeah, this is the clear one. This is the clear one. Or the extract red bottle. I know which red bottle you had talking about, but I don't have the red bottle. And I think the red bottle is stronger than this one. I do know that. Shout out to David Dice. He say, Andre, I intend on traveling to Cambodia. Beautiful Asian sisters in Cambodia. Yes, sir. He said, and Cali this year. He say, first, you already know my travel agent. I'll be booking a consultation with you, family, and not traveling until I speak to those to the wise man. I just put together a blueprint for up-to-date consultation blueprint for you guys that are reaching out to me in regards to consultation. And I'm going to be doing a discount on consultations too coming up. Let me see what I did with the blueprint. Give me a second, gentlemen. Okay, so during the consultation for Cali, at least, especially some of you guys that are coming for vacation or coming for Petronio Alvarez Festival, what I put together is 10 amazing, some of the best restaurants that you can go to throughout Cali. I also put together for you guys that are trying to, while you're here, trying to get your Spanish on. I got English speaking ladies that teach Spanish. I also have English speaking chefs. Also, I have English speaking that work with English speakers training. So if you guys are going to be here for a minute and you want some trainers to help you with your body, I got some English speaking trainers that work with expats. I also have, like I said, Spanish tutors. I also have information for an Airbnbs for furnished 1 to 2 bedrooms out north, as well as out west, because those are the kind of like the closest areas to the airport. Where we live is out north. 5 top gentlemen's clubs. So all you dudes that want to know where the brothels and strip clubs are, I have the top 5 here in Cali, because you know we don't have a red light district. Cali doesn't have a spot where you can meet some women on the streets like that. You have to go to a brothel or strip club, and you got to know which ones to go to. So I got that on the list for you. I have a free salsa club, free salsa lesson location. So if you're trying to learn a little bit of salsa before the weekend comes, I got some locations where you can take some salsa lessons during the day before it's time to party. Also, 7 things that you must do while you are here in Cali. 7 things you gotta do while you're here in Cali. For example, you gotta go to Crystal Ray. Let me pull that video up for Crystal Ray. You gotta do that one, fellas. You can't miss out on Crystal Ray. when you're here in Colombia. Let's see if I have the video right here. Oh yeah, that's the short video. Let me pull that short video up. So we'll do the short one for you guys. So you can't miss out there. So I have on a new up to date list that you guys get. Even though each consultation is personalized, this list of stuff that I have for you is going to be an add-on. So you're going to have all this stuff already that's a part of the consultation, and I have like 5 to 6 for each. The private drivers. If you guys need private drivers, you know, I know many of you want me to come pick you up from the airport, but while you're riding around the city, you might want private drivers that work with English speakers. Got you. These are people that we have been using, and brothers that live here have been using for the last few years. So we got private drivers for you guys. Let's see. Give me a second. Let me screen share. And let's get that view in. Let's take this down. Let me remove this and put this up here. Okay, so that's Cristo Rey right there. That's the giant statue of Christ. They have one in Brazil. They have one in Colombia. As you can see how huge it is. All of this used to be dirt, man. It is beautiful now. That area in Cristo Rey, I don't know if some of you guys were here a few years ago. This area has been closed down for 2 years. They just opened it up 6 months ago. So some of you guys will be coming down to Cali right on time to be able to get your photos done with Cristo Rey. There's a great view of Cali. I mean, it is really nice, man. Really, really nice. None of this here. All of this has been renovated. All of this is written. All this is brand new except for the statue. All that sidewalk, everything is so new. Getting a view of Cali. Everybody's coming to take photos. You got people from all over the place, man. And this was 9 o'clock in the morning when we went. So this is just one of the things that you want to do when you come to Cali, Colombia. So I have that on the list for you. So there's a list of several things that I have for you, as well as, like I say, personal drivers, maid service. Some of you guys may have Airbnbs that don't come with a maid service. You might want a maid. You may want somebody to come in on certain days and clean up your spot for you. If you don't have that, we have people that you can actually reach out to, and they'll be able to do that for you. So I have it all in PDF. So everything's already set up and ready for some of you guys for the consultation, as well as other private information I'm going to have for you guys. Shout out to you, gentlemen. But you got to have a great time in Cambodia, man. That's what's up. T-Max said, I started dating a lawyer. He asked me if I had a girl, and I told her yes, but not long-term committed. She still wanted to be on the team. Gotta love Colombia. Bruh, hey, I'm married, and I still get hey big head texts on Facebook in my DMs from Colombianas. They know I'm married, happily married. I still every once in a while get the hey big head in Espanol. So believe you me, when you say they don't care, they do not. That's probably what frustrates me the most, T-Mac. When dudes act so thirsty about getting them a Colombiana or Venezuelan or Brazilian woman, when it don't patience. Walk down the hill slowly and you can get them all, instead of rushing down the hill trying to just get one to mess everything up. Shout out to my man, the Meek, our love. Glad to see that you're here. He said, I'm here in Albany, New York. Satanic USA. They say getting dirty looks from yeah, for real, below average women just for saying hello to them. No, you didn't speak to me. But everybody want to be a wifey. He said, Andre, have you tried or bought the perfume called Vintage? Bruh, don't be telling my next cologne. Hey, keep that low. Take that off the list right there, man. You can't be telling my next cologne. Yes, sir. That's the next one. I got that one in the mail coming right now. Yes, sir. Which is, yep. Have you smelled? I know that Plum. You know I'm a Plum fan. Don't be telling, yeah, keep it on the low. They don't need to know about that one yet. They don't need to know about that one yet. That Vintage Radio? Yes, sir. Yeah, I was going to surprise y'all with that one. Now you surprised me, Meek. Yes, sir. H.R. Ferguson of the Ferguson family. He said, just ordered Club de Nuit Untold. I'm glad that it has your stamp of approval. Yes, sir, man. This is one of my favorites. Easy hands down. Like I said, I don't even touch my Baccarat. I don't even touch it. That's why you see so much of it still. I'll touch it just to be playing around. But this here, man, please. I know I already put some other cologne on, but put that on my wrist. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, give that a minute to cool. To dry down. That dry down. Oh man, never, guys, gentlemen, tip: never do this with your cologne. Never. You're breaking up the molecules and the formula. They created the formula to blend with air, with the oxygen. Cologne, once it hits oxygen, that's when the formula starts to really kick in to do. Man, that's good. Kick in for what it needs to do. But when you do this, you're breaking up the formula. When it's wet, you're breaking up the formula. Don't do that. Just spray on each wrist. I know you're thinking that you're safe. I used to do that. Like, oh. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You don't do that. Don't do that, and do not leave colognes in your glove compartment for months at a time. I'll tell you why. You ready? The formula changes in your hot car. Remember, you're supposed to keep your cologne in either cool or room temperature dark spots, right? Not in front of the light. So most of you keep your spot. So if you got it in the glove compartment, it's in the dark. The problem is it's not in a room temperature spot. Usually if your car is parked in the parking garage, I mean not in the parking garage, but parked out front on a hot day or on an extra cool day, you'll mess up the formula of your cologne. You wonder why it went bad in like a year. You're like, man, my cologne does not smell the same. Usually colognes last 7 years. What did I do wrong? You left it in your glove compartment and your car got hot and the formula started changing month after month after month. And now your cologne that was killer when you first got it only smells like an alcohol version of its original scent. So don't leave it in your glove compartment for too long. Like a couple of months, cool. But a lot of months, especially if you live in a hot city, you don't want to do that. Ransom is in the building, as well as my man Aiken being here. Appreciate you, brother. Glad that you guys are here. We got 53 people in the building. Shout out to you guys. Lakers fam unit is in the building. What have we done right? Hey there, Uncle Dre. He said, it's Marcus. Hey, Marcus, what's up, brother? He said, how you been? It's been a while. Man, how have you been, kind sir? How things going? Let me know. Let me know how things been going. Seriously. Yeah, my dude. Now, I talk about you all the time, man. Even though you ain't been around, I talk about you a lot, whether you realize that or not. Yes, sir. He said, how y'all doing in the chat? Yes, sir. Bobby says this. He said, yeah. He said, I met some girls in a rural town in Georgia, dark-skinned one from Laos. Yeah. He said the others from Cambodia. Fine as hell. A lot of dudes sleeping on them chocolate Cambodian sisters. You want some fine Asian sisters, chocolatey? Let's see if I can pull some up for us real quick. Let me see if I can pull up some beautiful Cambodian women. A lot of guys have never seen chocolate Cambodian women. Let us see. There we go. For the images. And let's go here. And move me out of the way. There we go. These are Cambodian women. And they come in all complexions, brother. All complexions. Yep, Cambodia, brother. And now women are starting to wear Cambodian hair in the States. Cambodian weave. Trying to be like the Cambodian women. Yeah, Cambodia. GJ is in the building. Shout out to you, brother. He said polygamists never have to lie. Never. But yet some do. Take it from me. I know some of my partners that I got some female friends that are in poly relationships. And them dudes still be cheating. Like, man, how you got 2 or 3 women and you still sitting up there creeping? He said, woman respects you more when you tell the truth. Absolutely correct. This is so true. So true. AK says this. Salute, Andre. Salute to the chat. He said, I will be emailing you hopefully by the end of this week or next week to schedule a consultation. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely. Definitely. Man, Alexa says this. Hey, Dre. He said, what about the beach hut man? I don't know about, tell me about who's the beach hut man? Let me know what the beach hut man is. He said, I knew it. He said, I was trying to tell people who told me to rub your hands together that it takes away the sin. Yes. Do not do this with your colognes. Don't. You're messing up the formula, guys. You're messing up the formula. Whenever you do that, whenever you put it on like this, no, spray it on, let it sit, Colognes are set up for 3 stages. 3. When you first spray it on, there's a scent that you smell when it's wet, right? You can smell what level of alcohol, if it's an expensive alcohol, if it's an average alcohol, is it expensive ingredients? Is it average ingredients, right? Some clones have just average ingredients. So when you first smell it, but then you let it phase 2, let it dry down. Now that's another scent. Why? Phase 2 dry down, and now oxygen is in it. When it's in the bottle, they purposely put it in the bottle that is not that much oxygen that's gotten to the cologne. You spray it out. Now the cologne combines with the oxygen in the air, and it gives it a scent that's completely different from when it was initially wet coming out of the bottle. Why? When it first come out the bottle, or even the expensive ones, first come out the bottle, the scent is going to be different in a few moments because the oxygen has dried it down. Now it has a different scent for you. Now, 20 minutes to an hour later, you can smell it. Have you ever had that moment where you're like, just walking, minding your business, and all of a sudden an hour later you can smell your cologne as if you just sprayed it. That's a different level. Those 3 levels of your cologne. So now, but if you do this, you're breaking up the first level that will impact the second and third level. So don't do that. Don't do that. Just let it naturally dry down. Like I said, I had to learn that too. He said, I know this may sound crazy, but can you give us tips on how to use colognes, Dre? Oh yeah. Me personally, it depends on how potent the cologne is. For example, I may spray wrists, of course, chest, neck, and okay, let's put it like this: wrist, chest, neck, maybe shoulders. Because you want to leave a scent trail, right? You spray your shoulders, the female's walking by, you leaving a scent trail, like, ooh, girl, what's that he got on? Right? But you might not do that with something that's potent, like Baccarat 540. It's too strong. So it only takes 1, 2, 1. No more than that. No to the back of the neck, no spraying all of. It's just too potent. You already know that even if you ain't gonna smell you in the club, don't worry. With Baccarat 540 or Untold, you will be smelled in that club. Especially the hotter you get, as far as you're dancing, you're moving around. That is going to protrude. It's going to project. In other words, it'll project. So you don't need as much. So like Baccarat 540. Spice Bomb, like this Spice Bomb infrared. I got the Spice Bomb the extreme, the gold one. You don't need that much. Spice Bomb projects. You don't need to. No, but other colognes such as Rave Now or Pineapple, you can have fun with that. It's a pineapple scent, a masculine pineapple scent. You can have fun with that. Or with Virgin Island water, the Pina Colada. You're in Cartagena, Santa Marta, you're at the beach, you're in Florida, or it's just a sunny day where you live in Kansas City. You put that Pina Colada on, and it doesn't, like I said, it does not, man, that's good. Woo. And that is Creed Virgin Island water, just in case you guys wonder what that is. That smells like Pina Colada. If you like pink, that does not smell like coconut. It smells like Pina Colada. You can smell a milky smell, the coconut, the liqueur. You can smell it all in this. So it doesn't come across like suntan lotion. Coconut suntan lotion. It doesn't smell anything like that. It definitely smells like Pina Colada, the alcohol with the milk and the coconut and the alcohol in it. It definitely smells like that. And so you can rock this and you can just spray it over as much as you want and have a good time with it. But because it doesn't project as much, because Baccarat 540 is so strong, it can project, it could become offensive. Same thing with Spice Bomb. It can project so much it can become offensive. And you want, like, for example, y'all know I always say there's such thing as sex scents, right? Rave Now, a pineapple scent, that's a sex scent, right? You can smash a chick and sweat all you want, and it doesn't project, it doesn't make her feel like, oh my God, his cologne is too much. You can do that with this. This is not a sex scent. This is a sexy scent. This is a scent that make her want to have sex with you. But this is not a cologne that you want to get out the shower and jump your ass in the bed, talk about having sex. You're going to choke her out. What's another one like that? Mancera's Red Tobacco. That Red Tobacco is great cologne. It is strong. So you don't want to put that on when it comes to having sex. You want to have something subtle when it comes to having sex, or something that she really will enjoy when it comes to having sex. But you don't want to put something on that's strong. Some colognes are just for hanging out, looking good, feeling good. That's what Bacharach's for. But you don't want to, you want something more subtle, or you want some of your gourmands. Gourmand scents are just colognes that smell like food. Pina colada, a food or a drink. Rave Now, pineapple. See what I'm saying? Anything that's in the food family. Tom Ford's peach, or I got brandy plum. You guys know I love plum scent. That's gourmand cologne. So anytime you hear somebody say gourmand, that means just it smells like food or alcohol. That's all. But yeah, if you want to put it on, a strong one only takes 3. Boom, boom, and right in the middle. Now, before you have sex, you might go boom, boom, and then you might hit right below your belly button. Make sure, I'm gonna give you a tip for real, seriously, guys, because you want to smell good while she give you some head, right? Let's be we grown men talking, right? So you going boom, boom, and you might spray at your belly button or a little bit below your belly button. Make sure you take your hand and cover up your man. Why? I'm telling you by experience. Dude, I was smashing this bad Puerto Rican chick, right? I had put on some cologne, spray down there, right? I sprayed, right a little bit below my belly button. I'm good. Man, I'm beating that coochie up, man. Now, mind you, this is somebody that I was kicking it with, so that's why I wasn't no condom involved, because that's somebody I've been kicking it with for a while. She on top riding, and I'm talking about she riding good that night. Man, she said, "Oh my God, it's burning." I'm like, "Yeah, baby, I know it's burning, girl. Burning love." That's what I'm thinking, right? She like, "No, Andre, it's burning." I say, "Yeah, girl." She said, "No, it's burning." And I knew exactly what it was. I didn't have to question it. I already knew what it was. The alcohol in the cologne. I didn't cover up with my hand when I was spraying. I didn't cover up my man with my hand when I was spraying. I'm just spraying. So it got on my dick. The alcohol going on my dick, went into her coochie, and that alcohol burned her coochie. Was like, "Oh, what is this?" Messed up my night, messed up her night. Had to wait till the next day to get the coochie again. So don't make a mistake and spray on your brother, man. Don't you look on your big man, big fella. If you're gonna spray down there, all right? It's very common to spray down there because women like to smell down there when they give you head, no problem. But don't make the mistake that I made. This is a true story. Don't make the mistake your boy made. Shout out to my man Aaron Patrol. Jay in the building. Shout out to you. He said, just bought the vintage. Man, hey, I need y'all to sit back and don't say nothing about the vintage, man. Do not say anything about it, man. I'm so excited. I'm like the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited. I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it. No, do not refrigerate your cologne. You don't want it that cool. You don't need your cologne that cool. Just room temperature. Just a cool room. Just room temperature. The only reason you want it room temperature is because you don't want to change the formula. When you first bought it in the store, was it not room temperature in the box in the store? With the store that have we ever walked into a cologne shop or in Macy's or any place and it was cold in there? No. What was it? Room temperature. When we took it out the box in our home, room temperature. And to keep it good for 7 to 10 years, room temperature. The only thing that you have to do is put it in a dark place. That's it. If anything, it doesn't have to be dark, but it has to be put in a place where regular sunlight doesn't get to it immediately. So if you got your cologne collection is right in the bedroom on your dresser and the sun can project directly on it, you might want to get something that could protect it, another case for it, or move it somewhere else, get a different shelf, because you don't want the sun interrupting the formula, and now your cologne that was supposed to last 7 to 10 years only lasts you 3 years, and in 3 years your cologne that you paid $100 for smells like nothing but alcohol, scented alcohol. But as far as put it in the freezer, you don't have to do that, because that'll change the formula just as much as heat will. Just room temperature in a dark place, not a super dark, but a dark place away from sunlight. And that's why you guys see mine's over here in the shelf, because it's away from the sunlight that may come in through the window. Shout out to you guys. These guys ordered the vintage radio before man, don't play with me, gentlemen. Shout out to my man El Patron in the building. He said, I've been stoked for this show ever since it posted. Shout out to you, gentlemen, being here. 56 people in the building. Appreciate you guys being here. We're going to talk real quick. Shout out to my man being in the building as well. Always here showing some love. He said the proper cologne will get them legs open. Yes, it will. That's a fact. Yes, it will. And do remember, gentlemen, women do not care about the price of a cologne. They don't know the price of the cologne. All they know is that it smells good on you. That's all they know. Some of my favorite colognes, some of Andrea's favorite colognes are clones. Andrea is not like a big fan of many of the originals. Like I'll put on Parfum de Marley's Leighton. Very subtle, great sex scent. Great sex scent, right? I'm thinking I'm supposed to be like, ooh, yeah, girl, smell me. Andrea be looking at it like, it smells good. All right. But then I could put a clone on like Kismet. She loves it. Even though Kismet is really good. Don't get me wrong. She loves it. Kismet is good though. And oh yeah, the Colombian women. I mean the Cambodian women. Yes, sir. Beautiful women. Oh yeah, they fine. They fine without a doubt. DJ David says this. He said, got a bottle of one of those fragrances yesterday. He said it was a clear bottle, brown liqueur or a liquid. Yes, sir. He said, I'm polygamous, cheating. he said, a polygamous cheating. Yeah, dog. Man, dudes be cheating. Swing in the swinger, dudes be having him and they girls swingers, and them niggas still be cheating. How you cheating and your girl allowing you to be a swinger? Man, you know how many dudes and got caught? Man, I got partners that was in the swinger world, man. Them dudes was cheating. Outside the swinger world, I'm like, yep. Yeah, it's a cologne. Armoff CDN, sit on the shelf for 6 months. Yeah, oh man. That's another thing when you're I forgot the term for it. For when your cologne, when you just let it sit. You'll have a cologne, right? When you first buy it, that's another thing. Man, I forgot the term for it when your cologne ages. There's a term for it. You may smell it because you're so excited. Oh man, I got the cologne, it smells good. 6 months later, it smells better. I forgot the aging term for a cologne, man. Man. There's a term for it. There's just a regular everyday term that in the cologne world that they use for allowing your cologne to age 3 to 6 months. A lot of times you'll smell a cologne. Sometimes you smell a cologne, you're like, man, I do not like this. Man, you'll come back to that cologne 6 months later. Man, what is this? This is fire. Where did I get this? Oh, yeah. Now I know who you're talking about. Now I know who you're talking about. Okay, I got you. Now I know exactly who you're talking about. Their whole collection is really good. Their whole collection, and I don't have any of them, man. I've smelled many of them, but I don't have any. You know what? I need to get a couple of their bottles up here. I need to get a couple of their bottles. They got, man, that brand is really good, man. Shout out to Cam being in the building. Salute Andre and everyone. Salute to you, kind sir, as well. Shout out to you. All right, we've been doing an hour of intros, including Preston. He say, "This is why." He said, "I use ball deodorant, manscaped, and man do best balling smell deodorant." See, I didn't think about that, bruh. All I was thinking about, I'm about to beat this coochie up. I hadn't had a chance to beat up in a couple of days, so I'm like, oh man, I know she on freak mode tonight too. I ruined that night. He said, if you want to put perfume on your private parts, use the original perfume used by the Orthodox Jews and Muslims. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's my man Marco Beat in the building. Oh, I got that right here. I got that one right there. I got the one in the black bottle, and I have the one that smells like coffee. Yep, I got him right back. The Ohm. Yeah, Ohm. I think it's Ohm in the black bottle. Kadesh is in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you being here, brother. He said it's called maturation. That's it. That's it. When your cologne maturates. In other words, like I said, it may have a scent that you might enjoy or might not enjoy when you first open up the box. And then after a few months of maturation, if I pronounced that correctly, all of a sudden you're in love with that cologne. And you're like, man, it grew on me. No, the formula changed after a while. FBAJ in the building. He said, they discontinued my favorite cologne. Yeah, they did. That whole line of pure Havana. I don't know what they were thinking. I do not know what they were thinking. He said, I need to find a replacement. While we're watching the show tonight, I'm going to see if I can find a pure Havana clone. I mean, GT in the building. Shout out to you, GT. And Ola, 0 mil in the building. Shout out to you, 0 milligram. And Marco. Shout out to you, kind sirs. And Chad, what am I doing right tonight? Yes, sir. All right, gentlemen, before we get to the videos in regards to Americans, let's look at a survey real quick that I thought I had pulled up. Here we go. What I was mentioned to you guys earlier. Let me move me out of the way. This survey, land of the free, few Americans agree that America is considered the land of the free. Americans that are fed up. U.S. women are far less satisfied than men with their freedom, but both are now less content. So both parties are tired. Let's scroll down to this little chart that they did. Let me blow this up a little bit, just a little bit more. Let's look at the chart. And this is the satisfaction chart. In the early 2000s, United States satisfaction used to be up here. Now, the average global satisfaction with any country, the medium, in 2008 was 79. Then with any country, with like 160 countries, it went to 82. Then even during the pandemic of 2020, it was still the average satisfaction for the countries around the world, all the countries, was 87. Let's look at 2024, 86, right? Let's look at the United States. 2007, it was Americans were satisfied with their country and their freedom and how everything was going, 87%. And also in 2008, now you see it start to drop. By 2011, it's 85. It was 70, 79 right after the housing crisis. It went back up when things started getting a little bit better. 2016, it dropped. Americans, what happened in 2016 when Trump was elected, the first go around? It dropped. But then it went back up 2017. Pandemic hit, but America stayed strong and believed in America. Now look what's going on. Since everybody got out of the pandemic and the economy has not gotten back on track, whether it was Biden or Trump, look how far it's dropped for Americans. The green. 73, 72, 2024. Americans are satisfied with the country, its freedoms, how America is moving, only 72%. And 50% of those, as I read into the article, 50% of those said, I'm done with the United States. 50% of that 72% that's tired of the United States have said, I want out. I'm done. I read other articles that said 1 in 5 Americans are packing up their bags. That's a lot of people. Okay, let's look at this from this perspective. America is 400 million people. That's like 70 million people saying, hey, I'm ready to go, man. They might not go anywhere. But the fact that Americans are thinking about going in a massive numbers like that, and TikTok and other social media is alive right now, it's crazy, man. Americans agreeing in their and supporting America has dropped to 72% of Americans saying, it's a good country, compared to 87% in 2007. And that was during the housing crisis. Everybody lost all type of money, but Americans still believed in America at that time period. Now America's like, man, since after the pandemic, Americans are like, man, I'm done. I'm done, man. Americans they are not feeling it. To whereas the rest of the world, the medium for the rest of the world has kind of stayed stable. Have kind of stayed stable. But before we go off into the videos, guys, I want to share with you, for you guys that are thinking about in the next 5 years, 5 months, 15 years of relocating. I'm going to share with you some things that's going to take place. Y'all ready? When it comes to you thinking about relocating, I'm not talking about you vacation weekend warrior dudes. I'm talking about when you have gone to DR so many times that you're like, hey, I think I might want to live in DR. Or you've gone to Philippines so many times, you're like, I think I want to live in the Philippines. There are certain things that are going to happen to you. First thing is you're going to think that you can wait on others to co-sign you leaving. It's not going to happen. Most of your family are not going to co-sign you leaving. Most of your friends, most of your coworkers are not. Stop waiting for it. I'm gonna say this again. Some of you are gonna feel isolated. Some of you are gonna feel by yourself. Some of you are gonna be like, man, y'all should. If anybody should be happy for me, my family. No, they won't, because they won't know to. Why? Because they've never been to DR like you have. They've never been to the Philippines like you have. So they don't know to be happy for you. So get that out of your mind, thinking that your family and your friends are going to be gun-ho and they're going to throw a going-away party for you. Most of us, no. Maybe a couple of you guys, yes. Or maybe a couple of your boys, like my boys, I had maybe like 3 of my partners. You know, we went to the bar, had some beers, but like the night before my flight, but nothing spectacular. Why? Because most Americans don't know anything about the rest of the world. We assume that we do, but we don't. Number 2 is don't wait for the perfect timing. No such thing. Ronan can tell you that. Taylor Made Dreams can tell you that. Ace Live can tell you that. Check and Effect can tell you that. I Am Marwa can tell you that. All your favorite YouTubers, YouTubers. Richie Rich can tell you that. Chocolate Man in Thailand can tell you that. El Guapo can tell you that. Like I said, Ronan can tell you. There is no perfect time for you to just say, let me go. There is no perfect money. You can sit back, have $1 million in the bank. Some dudes will still think, do I got enough? I don't know. There is no perfect time. And stop waiting for that. Other than your responsibilities back home with your family, now that impacts your timing. But if you waiting for the perfect time to jump into that double dutch of relocating, bruh, jump in. In many cases, build your plane on your way down. I kid you not. I kid you not. You guys are waiting for everything to be perfect, for the economy to be perfect. I'm waiting for crypto to take off. Okay, you keep on waiting for crypto to be perfect. Crypto is doing good. It's doing great. What I'm saying is, do you have the time to wait 6 years for crypto when you could have probably took Theo's classes or got you a contract job to do contract work online while you're living in another country? I want to say something to you. A lot of you guys don't realize most Americans are not applying for international government contract work, whether it be in that country or whether it be online and you're working in that country. Most Americans aren't applying for those jobs. That's what makes you special. Most Americans will see that job available, but it's working for a company that's based in another country, and they fear it's based in Ireland. Why should I work for a company in Ireland? That means that you ain't got any competition. Apply for that job. I'm gonna say it again. Your competition is not Americans, it's not Canadians. I know a lot of you guys thinking, well, if I apply for these online jobs, other Americans that are losing their jobs are gonna apply for it. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. Your competition is other guys and ladies that think like you, but the pool of your competition is small. There is no perfect time. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Don't wait for the worst time, but it's not a perfect time. If you got 50%, 60, 70% of what you need to relocate to another country and everything is good, start from there. There is no 100%, everything is going to be perfect and no flaws. I've gotten everything taken care of. No. Sometimes you'll forget some paperwork in the States and things like that, but don't let that throw you off. And speaking of paperwork, make sure you bring all the needed paperwork with the apostille stamp. Let's walk through it. Birth certificate. You want a birth certificate with the apostille stamp on there. I know you got your regular birth certificate. It doesn't have the stamp on there. The apostille stamp is, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, apostille or apostille. That stamp, that gold stamp, is the international notary. It's proof to the world that this is really your birth certificate. Most countries are not going to accept you walking up to them if it's something important with just your regular birth certificate and there ain't no stamp on there. They don't know if you can stole that birth certificate. They don't know. Who is this? That's me. And well, I got my ID. And that's one form. Second, of course, your passport. You got that. Third, proof of singleness or affidavit of singleness. I want to say this again. You go down to any city county building and get it. Any city county building and get it. Proof that you are single. Well, I'm not getting married. Dude, we don't know what's going to take place in 20 years, do we? We don't know what you may do in 10 years, do we? You might get to Italy and fall in love. You might get to West Africa and fall in love. And one of the things they're going to ask you is, do you have your affidavit, or it's called proof of singleness? You can go to any city county building in the United States, small towns, large cities. You walk into the city county building, ask them, where do I go to get proof that I'm single? and they'll just say, oh yeah, you go over to this department, and they'll ask you, take it from me, they'll ask you, how far back do you want us to go? Do you want us to show that you've been proof that you've been single over this past year? Do you want us to show that you've been single over the past 20 years? So they'll ask you, do you want us to show proof that you are single for the last 5 years? For example, my situation, I asked them, they asked me, how far back do you want to go? Well, I want to go as far back as my divorce date, because anything prior, I was married, right? So they gave me a copy of my affidavit or proof of singleness. And I got that, I took that, and I got an apostille stamp put on that. You got to get the stamp put on there. Okay? Okay. Next form of paperwork. So you got your passport, you got your apostille birth certificate, you got your proof of singleness. If it's in the Spanish country, you might get it translated, but you're gonna have to get the stamp put on there either way, right? Once again, the apostille stamp is the notarized proof of international that this is you. This is not a fake or forged document. Number 4, you either need to have your state criminal background check or your federal criminal background check. But you do have to have a criminal background check for many countries now to get your visa. I don't care if it's a digital nomad visa, investment visa, I don't care what type of visa it is. These days, a lot of countries are asking for your criminal background check. Okay? You don't have to get that. You don't have to get that apostille or nothing. But they just want to make sure that you have that. Okay. Next one is you might not need it, but it's good to have your last year's or at least the year before tax form. Whatever taxes that you filed the year before. Excuse me. I sneeze. Think I'm good. Okay, good. Thought I had to sneeze. Whatever tax form that you have from last year or the year before, they're going to go into your business, because the U.S. taxes have nothing to do with the taxes of other countries. So don't think they're doing that. They're just trying to make sure that you're not breaking any laws in your country. If they say yes, you can get a visa in our country. Come to find out that you're not doing what even though it's not illegal to not file taxes. They just want to make sure. So sometimes, and I mean in rare cases, they ask about your tax form. It's not normal, it's not common, but some countries do. But you just want to have it just in case. Everything I'm saying to you is just in case. Your birth certificate apostille, that's going to be a must. Of course, your passport, that's going to be a must. Your affidavit of singleness, you want to get that because you never know what the future might hold. So you want to make sure that you bring your paperwork. Don't forget your documents, in other words. Don't forget your documents. When it comes to your state ID or your federal ID from the United States or your driver's license, most countries are not going to ask you about that anyway. Your passport is your form of ID. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. My state ID from Florida, it's been expired for 5 years. My driver's license from Florida, it's expired for 5 years. I don't plan on driving in the United States anytime at all. If you want to be honest, I really don't plan on ever driving again in the United States. I really don't. Nothing against the States, but what I'm saying is, if I get a driver's license, I'm going to have to rent a car. You know how expensive it is to rent a car when I could just go ahead and use that money for an Uber? You see what I'm saying? Car rental, I could say, okay, so many dollars per day, when I could just go ahead, call an Uber up, and have that Uber pick me up and take me to that landmark or to my cousin's house or whatever it is for those 3 days or 5 days while I'm in the States. So technically, if you look at it over the grand scheme of things, I don't need a driver's license in the States because I don't plan on living in the States anymore. Now, you guys need a driver's license with that new star on there that's been around. But whenever I fly somewhere in the United States, all I got to do is show my passport. Police stop me, I show my passport. If I got to show some identification somewhere, I show my passport. Anything that I have to do with the United States, I've always shown my passport. Even with YouTube will ask you for your identification. It'll ask you for your state ID, your driver's license, or your passport. For me to set up the YouTube channels from Colombia, I use my passport for all our channels. My passport. So yeah. He said, I haven't filed taxes in years. Would that be a problem? Nope, not at all. It's very, very rare cases that they ask about it. That's why I say you just want to have it just for records. Hey, take it from me. There are over 10 million expats outside the United States. Man, being in all these expat groups, especially on Reddit, man, most expats ain't filed taxes in 5-10 years, dog. They are not filing taxes, man, because they know that even when they file, they don't owe taxes, right? Because we get that tax break of $126,500, and most expats don't make $126,000 because they don't need $126,000 to live in their country every year, right? If you live in such as Ronan doesn't need $126,000, $500 to live in the Philippines every year. So if Ronan never hits that threshold, all he has to do is fill out for his tax excursion while he fill out his regular tax form. If he's W-2 or if he's 1040, if he's 1099, fills out his regular tax form. But there's a special form for our discount or our tax break, which is called the tax excursion. I forget the number of it with the IRS form, what it's called. But you fill that out and you send that in, and Ronan won't be paying any taxes. Why? His first $126,500 is tax-free. And next year, being in the Philippines, if he's out of the United States for 330 days, that's what makes you eligible. Our increase goes to $130,000. So as long as we're under $130,000, all our money is tax-free. This is why a lot of expats don't even file their tax. I ain't filing them damn tax. Go into some of them expat groups on Reddit and ask them about taxes. Man, they ain't filing them. I'm like, damn, am I the only one filing taxes? Am I doing something wrong? Yeah, man, they are not filing taxes, man. They do not care. Shout out to my man MJB in the building. I ain't seen you in a minute, brother. Glad to see you here. He said, is it written somewhere? Because I can't. He said, I can't. Let me see. Hey, Bobby, let me know what you mean. Is it or what it is? Is it written down somewhere? Because I can't currently write it down where I'm at. MJ, he said, I have no rush for filing taxes. Yeah, dude, it would amaze you how many. I told you about that. I always tell that one story of the lady that I talked to. Passport, book, and card I got. Bam, that's it. I was talking to her on Reddit, and Bobby says, he said, is it written down somewhere? Because I can't currently write it down where I'm at. Oh, for the visa. I mean, you can always just look it up. What forms or what papers do I need in order to get a visa for this country or that country? And most of them are all the same. You could pick, say, I want to move to Portugal. What paperwork do I need? And usually that's the same paperwork for Spain, which is the same paperwork for Brazil, which is the same paperwork for Colombia. Usually it's the same paperwork. He said, I haven't filed taxes since 2023. Many people haven't. Many people haven't. If you don't have to file, you don't have to. Like I said, the tax form is not a must. I'm just saying for those that do file, you might want to bring that copy for records. But most of us, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. Shout out to you guys. The next one is, like, number one we looked at in regards to, before we get to the videos, number one we looked at was, let me change the music up a little bit. I still got the intro music going on. Let me change that music up just a tad bit. Let's see. Okay, cool. That's good. We'll put that right here. Let's put it at 10. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, we'll leave it at 10 for right now. Okay. You said I haven't filed for. You say F the system. I ain't mad at you, Esco. It's not a must. Like I said, most countries don't even judge us by our tax form from the states anyway. It's not a must at all. Like I said, if you do file, just for those that do, just make sure you keep a record of it. The other forms of paperwork that you want to bring with you. You ready? Your medical paperwork. If you are a person, high blood pressure pills you're taking, make sure you bring your paperwork so you can get your prescriptions done in your new country. Let's say you're a person that you have dental work that has been done or will need to be done. You got x-rays. Make sure you get a copy and bring your x-rays with you. If you're a person that takes medication for something else, just make sure you bring your paperwork with you. So you want to make sure you bring your medical paperwork so your new doctors could understand, what your medical history is, and so they can help you out with your high blood pressure. Let's say me and Andrea moved to another country. We have a whole file of my medical, so we can say, okay, is this, is that, is this, so forth and so forth. So you may want to think about bringing that with you if you have any medical paperwork, if you're taking high blood pressure pills or any type of diabetic pills or insulin shots, things like that. Meek says this. He said, watch the documentary by Aaron Rosso called Freedom. Let me write that down. Freedom to Fascism. Showing proof there is no law about it. True. A lot of people don't know that. That is true. I've been on that for years. There is no law in the United States, none, no state, no federal law that says that you must file taxes. This is true, my friend. This is true. A lot of people don't know that. I'm not saying buck the system. I'm just saying that there is no law that says that you have to. It's just sold to us like that. But yes, a lot of people don't know that. And that proof has been around for years. He said, this is a new book, isn't it? This information sounds familiar. Yes, it's in the new book. So for some of you guys that don't realize it, it's inside of the book. Anywhere it's possible, on Amazon, and even more. I'm just giving you a couple of tips, but this book is very detailed on how you can live in 60% of the world's upper middle class for between $2,500 to $3,000 a month. I'm gonna say this again. When I came across that stat, that was a game changer. I did not know that you could live in 60% of the world, 60% of this planet, for in the upper middle class, between $2,500 and $3,000 a month. And that includes your rent, food and clothing, medical, transportation. Now, everything else, your partying and your private entertainment and everything else, not included. But if you're talking about your housing and your food and clothing and your medical and your transportation, you can live in the upper middle class in regards to those four areas in 60% of the world for less than $3,000 a month. And a lot of people, that's why I sit back and it just hurts me when I hear Americans on TikTok cheering for people that have moved, but then they're always like, I can't afford it. It's too expensive. I don't know if I have enough money. I don't know how I'm going to do it. Not realizing, this is the part that hurts me about us Americans, not realizing that the most expensive country outside of a few Scandinavian countries to live in is the United States. You know how New Yorkers be like, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. One of the most expensive. Yes, I'm working on that. That'll be released next month. The audio version for this book, and the 44 Laws of Power come out in June. So all you guys that are audiobook buffs like I am, I have the audiobook out. I'm 44 Laws of Power, but the 44 Laws of Travel will be available for you guys. And so in June. So as I was saying, a lot of Americans fear moving because they think it's so expensive. You guys that have been in Europe, you know, a flight from Paris to London, $28. I've gotten $16, $40. You can't take a flight from New York to DC for $28. You cannot take a flight from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh for $28. That's in the same state. America, I always say this, it is the most expensive country to fly into, to fly out of, and to fly around. I don't know any other country on that level of expensive, not one. I don't think it's any in Europe that's that expensive to fly into, to fly out of, and to fly around. Only America. It's expensive as hell to fly around America. It's expensive as hell. You be in the same state. You be like, what? From Philly to Pittsburgh, how much? $200, $300 to fly in the same state. So yeah. Yep, and service fees. Absolutely correct, Chad. Yep. And that's why I never understood why dudes would have so many stamps on their passports after leaving Europe, right? I didn't get it. How they get so many stamps? Well, I did 20 countries. Like, how the hell they did 20 countries? Because I'm thinking like an American, how expensive flights are, right? And I don't know nothing. I'm American, so I don't know nothing about a train system. I heard about a train system in Europe, but I don't really know anything about a train system, right? So I'm just like the average American. I'm thinking that it's all expensive, so they would spend a lot of money. Man, you get to Europe and you get to riding them trains from country to country to country, and them flights here to flight from Spain to Rome, $50, $60. Rome to catch the train. Andrew's looking up for our trip coming up in October. The train from and we're talking about first class, top of the line with the chefs in the top menu, and you got the wine. From Rome to Sweden, $26. You can't go from the US to Mexico on $26 worth of gas. That's the part that it just disappoints me, that how many Americans are scared of, and that's the next one, are scared to relocate because they don't know. We only know our country and how expensive it is in our country. So we assume that think about it, we assume that we're the best country, right? And if the best country is this expensive, then the other countries must be just as expensive as well. We make that assumption as Americans, and we kind of like pull ourselves out of the game. Shout out to my man FBAJ with the love, the $5 love. He said OG and Andre. He said shout out to Love Crossing Borders family. Sorry for being late. He said looks like I came in right on time. The Cologne edit. Yep. Or dict. Yep. Yes, sir. He said, well, I'll make a commercial on that. But I actually, that's my plan is for this weekend. I'm doing a commercial this weekend. This Friday, we're going to be talking about men's health. So when you come into Colombia, I've got a lady that, especially here in Cali, she specializes in helping men with their health. So if you're coming here, like you often hear about people come here on medical tourism, that's what she specializes in. So I'll be doing an interview with her this Friday evening for about an hour. Then we're going to talk about something else. The other something else we're going to talk about this Friday is this. I didn't know this before. You know how Americans are always talking trash? Y'all going down there to them third world countries, right? You know, Americans love swinging the pendulum to the extreme. I don't see how y'all going to them third world countries with no rights and living impoverished. So I asked DeepSeek and ChatGPT, I need for you to give me the top 7 countries that are considered third world by the United States that are better than the United States when it comes to cost of living, food, safety, transportation, and infrastructure. You guys will be surprised at countries that America are calling third world that are better than America. That blew me away. I was like, wait a minute, because Americans keep on saying this. Y'all go to these third world countries, y'all keep going to, as if it's a bad thing, right? I said, wait a minute, ChatGPT, give me some countries that's better than the United States that are third world. And it gave me a breakdown, and it even told me the reason why each one of these countries are better than the United States. So the first hours or so, we're going to have the guest on talking about, when we come to Colombia, how she can help us out when it comes to medical tourism. A lot of people come from around the world for her services. And then the second half of the show on Friday, we're going to be talking about 7 third world countries that are literally better than the United States as far as infrastructure, cost of living, medical, food, and I forgot safety. Better than the United States. I was like, get out of here, ChatGPT. My man YB says this. He said people in the United States get on my nerves with that term third world countries. Yeah, that's what made me look it up. I was like, wait a minute. Because I've learned this a long time ago in business. Whenever you hear the masses say something, do the opposite. And I learned this a long time ago when I was in prison. I was reading the Rob Report, and anybody knows the Rob Report is for the mega, is a magazine for the mega rich, right? And on the back of it, every issue, they interview somebody. How did you become rich? Well, the issue that I was reading back in like 97, this guy was a butler for the rich. Like, he was the butler, right? And he became a multimillionaire. And so on the back of the Rob Report, they interviewed him like, dude, how the hell you go from being a butler to a multimillionaire? Did you get some stock tips? Did somebody die and leave you something? He said, no, I was still working with my regular job. So how'd you do it? He said, and I never forgot it. He said, I looked at what everybody else around me was doing, and all I had to do was the opposite, and my life changed. He said it was no special formula. I didn't get no hookups. It wasn't luck. It wasn't no connections. He said, I just literally looked at what all my coworkers were doing. I looked at what the masses were doing and complaining about. He said, whatever they were doing, whatever they were complaining about, he said, I went this way, while most Americans were whining and looking and crying about that way. And that's how I became a millionaire. And I never forgot that. And I use that principle with everything. That's why when I hear the masses saying third world, third world, third world, I pumped the brakes and said, wait a minute. Let me look up these places they're calling third world. And come to find out, it's a bunch of them that are technically better than the United States. I'm like, damn. And some of these countries, you wouldn't even think they were third world. Portugal, America thinks Portugal is third world. Philippines, Thailand. America thinks Thailand is third world. Philippines, third world. They think Medellin is third world. They think Panama, third world. They call Mexico third world. There's a whole list of countries that when you look at cost of living, safety, infrastructure, food, and medical, they destroyed the United States. Destroy. And I only wanted countries that hit all 5 metrics. I didn't want countries that didn't hit all 5 metrics. And then ChatGPT told me why this one is better than the United States. And so we're going to have fun. Oh, yeah, Mississippi. Crooked letter I, PPI. Yeah. Yeah. Next one. So we said the next one is, it's going to be scary, bro. Yeah. That moving to another country, you're not a military brother. See, a lot of you military brothers, y'all got the ups on us because the military took you to other countries. But us mere mortals, we visit other countries. But when it's time to like really put your money where your mouth is and live in another country, gulp. That's a big gulp right there. Like live in DR, like live. I'm used to just doing a couple weeks in DR, but to live there. So a lot of us, it is kind of scary or nerve impacting or can give you panic attacks, not panic attacks, but make you kind of nervous. That's a good thing. I'm gonna say this again. It makes you cautious. That's a good thing. The word caution, in its original definition, means self-bodyguard. Self-bodyguard. You need to have caution, that hint of nervousness to take place. You don't want to do anything cocky. Anytime I've gotten on stage and did public speaking and I was cocky, it went bad. It always went bad. Either I didn't speak long enough and I had 15 minutes left, or I missed out part of the speech, and so I had to ad lib. Whenever I went up there on stage with a hint of nervousness or being myself bodyguard, cautious, the speeches always went great. Standing ovations, no issues. No issues. Soon as I pretended like I was Mr. All That, that's when the problems happen. So for you to be a little bit nervous or cautious, self-bodyguard, when you get ready to move to another country, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. You don't want to be cocky because all of a sudden you forgot something, and then now you got to fly back to the States because you forgot to do this. You forgot to turn the stove off. You forgot to turn the sink off. In other words, I'm just being facetious, but one of the things that's going to take place is you're going to feel that hint of nervousness because you're putting your money where your mouth is now. You're really moving to Colombia. You're really moving to Kenya. You're really moving to these places. And it's completely different dance once you live in Thailand, even if you're going to live there half a year. Let's say you live in the States half a year and you live in the other country half a year. You're still, when you're initially doing it, going to be nervous. I'm going to tell you another thing that's going to make you nervous. Your last year, and I keep saying this, your last year in the United States or Canada or UK is going to go by like that. Do not take your last year for granted. If you plan on moving in 2026, bruh, 2025 is going to fly by. Don't think that, well, you know, my last couple of months, I'm going to take care of this. No, take care of it now. I kid you not. The other thing, your first year in your new country is going to fly by. Such as our brother Ronan in the Philippines, that first year, it'll fly by. Fly by. 2026 for him will be here before you know it. Because you're getting established, you're trying to take care of this, trying to take care of that. And by the time you get everything taken care of, you're like, it's November. Like, dang, okay. It's November. So that first year in your new country is going to fly by. So, you know, show a little caution, but that's going to be natural. Don't trip like you're like bad's gonna happen. I feel a bad omen. No, that's just your body being cautious or wise or being your self bodyguard. That's why I always compare caution to. Little kids don't know caution. Kids know fear, like if that car hits me, but they don't know caution. That's why when kids get to the corner, what do you have to become? Their bodyguard. You have to, let me hold your hand before we cross that street. Why? Kids don't know not to run into that street to grab the ball. They don't know caution. If the basketball or the little volleyball or the baseball or football roll into the street, little kids will run out into that street. Why? They don't know caution. They don't know how to be self-bodyguard yet. Learning to be a self-bodyguard takes a couple years. Then they learn, okay, if the ball rolls out in the street, look both ways, or have an adult come out and get the ball for them. The kids aren't born with self-caution or self-bodyguard, in other words, with caution. They're born with fear, like a respect for big cars or something that's dangerous, but they don't have caution. Big difference. The next one that we're going to look at before we go to the videos. When you get ready to relocate, and a lot of you guys are realizing this when you relocate to these other countries, there's already somebody there. You're not alone. If you are alone in a new country, it's because you want to be. In this era of travel and relocating, there are so many WhatsApp groups, so many Facebook groups. Meetup.com is global. If you're a person that does golf, go to meetup.com. There are people in your country that are doing bowling or golf just like you do. There is no way you should be isolated in your new country. There is no way. If you're a person that likes anime, there are anime clubs and groups in that new country. Do not think because you were born and raised in the US or Canada or UK that people don't hold the same interests that you do. Got news for you. The same PlayStations are in Colombia, Peru, Brazil, Egypt. There's not a special PlayStation that America has and the other countries don't have it. And so if you're into gaming, there are so many people in other countries that are into gaming. If you're into bike riding, if you're into certain sports, for example, a lot of us have the NFL, right? The Super Bowl parties. Every Super Bowl, why is it always packed in every bar in every country? Because you have sports fans around the world that enjoy American football, if only during the Super Bowl. So don't isolate yourself. You're not alone. You might have moved alone, but when you get there, you're not alone. You got other expats that are there. You got the military brothers that are there. You got dudes that's been living there 20, 25 years. Like I can sit back and say, I've been living here in Cali going on a decade, right? That don't mean nothing. I know dudes that been living here 25 years. My little measly 10 years don't mean nothing to them. You got my man Mad Max. Mad Max was here in Cali, Colombia in 1981. Who am I to act like I can't glean off of his knowledge? So when you move, don't let the fact that you might be moving solo scare you. because there's a lot of us waiting for you in your new country. That's the cool part about relocating in today's world. There's so many Facebook groups that you can meet up, be in. There's so many events, from Gringo Tuesdays for you to meet people, to language exchange, to investment groups in that new country, to tours in that new country. You can do the city tours, and all of a sudden you meet a person here, a person there. There's so much to do, so many ways to meet people in other countries. There is no way you need to be isolated. None, not at all. Only reason you guys see me on a regular basis because I'm working. But when I'm not working, I'm out and about. I'm out and about. Even though I'm a homebody, I'm still out and about. I'm not going to be stuck in the house all day. You say, bet I want this Friday. Yeah, Friday's going to be a really good one. You say America's a third world country with a Gucci belt. Is it? We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about that tonight. America's a third world country with a Gucci belt. He say Singapore is definitely not a third world country, but it is, isn't it, bruh? It is, bruh. It is expensive in Singapore. Love the airport, but yeah, you got to come with some dollars, some money to be in Singapore. Shout out to Tori being in the building. He says people that think all of Africa is being the third world. So wrong. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. But that's what Malaysia's on the list. Yep, Malaysia is definitely on the list of the country. You like, man, are you serious? Are Malaysia and America think it's a third world country? Bobby says, he says, seek once my family's obligation are done, or once my family's obligations are done, and I can create a sustaining income, I'm out of here. Oh yeah, man. And like I said, that's another thing. Patience, brothers. I always mention this. Took Ace Live 3 years, Tailor Made Dreams 5 years, Love, Purpose and Passports 7 years before he officially moved to DR. Me, 3 years. 3, 5. I think it was 5 years. 5 years from the time, 3 years. From 2000, 3 years. When I turned my TV off in 2016 and I told myself that I was going to move outside the United States that November 2016, I officially moved to Colombia November 26, 2019. Even though I have my apartment here, that going back and forth, but the official November 26, 2019. 3 years. Be patient with yourself, gentlemen. Sometimes it'll take you 10 years because you still got your kids to raise, or your mom to take care of, or your dad to take care of, or your family members to be there for, or you're stacking your money, getting your money right. So nothing wrong with being patient. I had to, Tailor Made Dreams had to, Ace Live had to, Check and Effect had to, I Am Marwa had to, all of us. The key to our success of staying outside the United States was being patient while we were in the United States. You don't have to rush it. You can still visit these countries. You can still go to Brazil and see, is this the spot? Or is it Peru? Or am I going to live in Thailand or Taiwan? You know, while you're being patient, you can still travel to other countries, but your official travel date may take you, your official move date may take you a few years or quite a few years. Nothing wrong with that. I remember one brother, I forgot who it was, said it took him 11 years before his official living outside the United States. So it wasn't immediate for any of us, man. David says, honestly, I'm grateful. That's why for the fellas in this chat and Andre, because I'm hella nervous. So I'm taking notes and asking questions. Yeah, man, you're supposed to be. If you are not nervous about moving to another country, you're doing it wrong. You make some mistakes. You either forget something, or you'll let the wrong people into your life, or you'll end up being in a country that you're not happy with. Hey, that nervousness is supposed to be there. It is a great thing to have. Like I said, anytime I got on stage and I was all cocky, and it always went wrong. I got 15 minutes left and I'm just standing there on stage like, okay, should I say this? Should I say that? No, you should have took your time, Mr. Cocky. So at the end of the day, that caution, that self-bodyguard is a great thing to have. Great thing. T-Mac says this, people were doggy military brothers back in the day. Yup. If I had to he said, if I had to listen to people, I would have not even been able to return early with VA disability 100. Shout out to you for the 100, brother. He said, I have other income, but VA made it easier. Yep, retire. Yeah. Shout out to Montrez being in the building as well once again. Growth Talk, my man Kofa is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. He said, let them think what they want to think. F them. Yep. Family and friends, they don't understand. T-Man says this. He said, I told my son to get even his paper cuts documented. Yep, absolutely correct. While in the military, and he will thank me. Yeah, he will thank me when he gets out. Don't care that people criticize him for going sick call all the time. Absolutely correct. I saw I was watching a guy doing a YouTube video on new recruits in the military. I don't know if it was Medium Man that was saying this or I forgot who it was. No, it was a white guy, couldn't think of it. And he was saying that one of the tips that he gives new recruits is listen to the guys that have and ladies that have been there longer than you. They can give you some great tips, like the tip you're giving your son. They can give you some great tips on how to live a good life after the military if you do it right. So he said some of the veterans or the guys that have been in the military longer, listen to what they have to say because they're trying to help you with your life after you leave the military. Tori says, always keep your phone out of sight. True. Head on the swivel. Natural instinct of Black people. This is true. He say, if they run, we run faster. That is so true. Sometimes we run, we don't know why we're running. He said, I need to go to Philippines and visit Rome. I know, right? He said, been over to Southeast Asia, but not Philippines. And I hear, man, Philippine. I've dated a couple of Philippine women, but they were always beautiful ladies, man. Always just good people. He said, Andre sound like me, my first trip to Medellin. He said, got cautious from that weird vibes immediately. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He said, they have social media group for links in Medellin. Yep. In Medellin that will connect you with private WhatsApp groups. True. He said, for people, with a common interest. Absolutely correct. I'm in the WhatsApp group for Cali. Like we have our own created WhatsApp groups, but I'm in Cali. I'm in like 6 WhatsApp groups. And there's one that like is one WhatsApp group, but it's broken down into like 7 categories. And so, I mean, they announce everything, from the Black neighborhoods to the musicals to the opera to the art classes to bowling events to they just tell everything to this is on sale. Hey guys, I got a Xbox on sale. I got a PlayStation on sale. Anybody want it? Hit me up. So it's just one WhatsApp group, but they broke it down into 6 categories. And I've been in it for years. Real estate, they tell you about real estate, all type of stuff here in Cali. And they meet up once, twice a week, if not that, if not more. Let's see. Ghana may be a third world country, but it's on the rise. Absolutely correct. Yeah. I mean, you would sit back, you would not think that they would consider Malaysia a third world. You're like, are you freaking? You're like, man, Bali, Bali, they think Bali's the third world. Absolutely correct. That's on the list. Absolutely correct. Indonesia. Yep, Gringo Tuesday was a game changer for me. Shout out to Andrew being in the building. Mr. Craig himself, second of his name. He's game changer for me in Colombia, especially in Cali. Yes, sir. See, America has a dark cloud hanging over it, or hanging over the. It does, sadly. You look at the fall of Rome, and you look at the United States fall, and it's so parallel, man. And you hate to see it, but it's right there. He said he was there in 06. Wow, you were there in 06, Marco. He said, I can imagine what it looks like now. Yeah, man. He says Bali's paradise. Let's see if I can get down here to get to the video. Jerman is in the building. Shout out to you, Jerman. Glad to see you here. He say that's moving upward. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. China's not expensive. China's not expensive at all. You can get you a nice spot for $500 a month in China. He said 5 years. He said, I'm out. He said the only question is Southeast Asia or South America. And that's what you want to do in that window of time. You want to visit those places at least 2 or 3 times before you make the decision. Shout out to man, just was talking about you, man. He said being nervous is living on the edge, which is the opposite of living in a rut. This is true. Shout out to my man Mad Max, just talking about you. Shout out to T-Mac being in the building. I mean, Mr. T being in the building. My man Mike, shout out to you. He said, I got a home in the Philippines, been telling me, man, you need to come over, brother. You need to come. I'm starting to get more calls. It's a crazy part. I got another call today from people from the States, my friends and families. I'm getting more calls like over the last 6 months of people wanting to come over now. It's people, and they've been watching me. They've been watching me and Andrea. But now I'm starting to get calls from people that's starting to take it serious. Let's see what else. Shout out to my man Love Liberty and Lacouse. Shout out to you, brother, being in the building. Appreciate you. Like the name with the $5 super sticker. Appreciate you being here. Don says this. He said, "Do you guys keep your U.S. numbers?" He said, "I'm in your WhatsApp groups. Plus, some others don't want to lose." I use an app called, because I don't have my original U.S. number from Tampa in Orlando. Anybody that knows Orlando, it's 727, right? And Tampa's 813. I used this app when I first came down, and some of you guys have heard of it too. Let's go here, and let's go here. I use Freetone. I use the Freetone app. I've been using it for years. For $10 a month, they allow you to choose a phone number in your area code. All you guys that got my phone number on WhatsApp, all you guys that call me, that 813 number, that's my Freetone number. I could call the States as if I'm in the States. I could be in any country and use that phone number and call as long as I'm near Wi-Fi. That's the only kicker. As long as I'm near Wi-Fi, or I'm using the Wi-Fi that I get from my phone service in Colombia, I can use my Freetone. If you guys call me right now, that phone call would go directly through the Freetone app. This is also called Text Me. So you can either download Text Me or Freetone. They'll give you they'll show you like 6 phone numbers with the area code that you chose. So if you like, hey, I'm a 404 Atlanta guy. Okay, so you put in your 404, and they'll show you 6 phone numbers that you can choose from with 404 area code. And in my case, I chose the one that was easiest for me to remember. So I've had the same phone number through freetone/TextMe app for the last 6 years. Last 6 years, it only cost me $10 a month. I can call my bank, I can call my family can call me, my bank can call me. You know, when you're doing the security code for your the second line of security, and they say, I'm going to send you a code, we're going to text you a code. I get all texts for any codes that I need to get into my Google or get into anything. Yeah, I've been using Freetone for years, man. Some of you guys know about Freetone, or the same company is TextMe. So yeah, that's a good question. Good question. He said, Andre, I'm so glad to catch you your live tonight. He said, I'm looking to move to Cali in December. That's a good time. I need your guide. Shoot me an email. We can schedule a consultation, brother. Got everything set up for you, man. Kid you not. I'll walk you straight through all the things that you need to do. I'll let you know why I recommend what side of the city that I recommend. Like one brother came down. We hung out on Monday night, me and a couple of brothers. He was like, man, everything I want to hang out and do is on the north side. I said, man, I told you want to get it, because he had a dental appointment on the south side. I said, you wanted to get a spot by your dentist office. Me personally, my dentist is on the south side, but I just ride over there. Like back in the day, I would take a taxi or Uber before we got our SUV. You see, I did that, Mad Max. You see, I didn't say truck, I said SUV. When Mad Max was down here, me, him and his wife and Andre were having a lunch, and he said, Andre talking about he got a truck. He can't be from Detroit, because a true Detroiter wouldn't call a SUV a truck, which is true. Which is true. But yeah, reach out to me, man. I'm gonna give my email real quick. Give you my email, man. Shoot me an email. Anytime. We're going to get started on the videos in a second. Here we go. And any of you guys interested, whether it be for the Petronio Alvarez Festival coming up, because June is coming up. That means that you guys want to start getting your Airbnbs and everything ready in June, like late June, mid-June. Reach out to me for the consultations. Why? I'm telling you, 300,000 people coming down, you need to book your Airbnb early. If you think you coming down to the Petronio Alvarez Festival on a whim, you ain't gonna have no place to stay. Cali, Colombia is booked. So if you want to have a spot on the north side and then ride with the rest of us to the south side and enjoy the festival, you're good. But I'm telling you, man, 300,000 people coming down, and if you do not have your room for the Petronio Alvarez Festival, and that's the Black Afro-Colombian Festival, you're gonna be assed out. Yeah. So I got some suggestions for you, some people that I've been working with for years, as far as Airbnbs too. Bobby says, I have a solid 8 places that I'm looking at. He said one of them going to retire, in the other either temporary living and working. And that's how you want to do it. See, America teaches us you can only do one country at a time. There's no rule book that says we got to do one country at a time. Some of you dudes can do 6 months in Colombia, then 6 months in Peru, or 6 months in Brazil. You can do 6 months in Brazil and 6 months in DR. You can do 6 months in DR and 6 months in Panama, 6 months in Thailand and 6 months in Taiwan or Bali or what. That's the beauty of what we do. Once you're released from the matrix, Remember how Neo, the stuff that Neo could do that he thought he couldn't do because of the Matrix? He said, I don't know karate. Now you do. I don't know kung fu and jujitsu like that. Now you do. I don't believe I could just walk out there off of a building. Now you can. I don't believe I could just stop bullets. Hey, boo. Now you can. Do not. And I mean this, guys. This is very important. Don't make the mistake and think that you are obligated to one country because you come from a country that taught you to be obligated to one country. Right? Did not America, Canada, or UK teach us that it's America and then it's the rest of the world? Right? And then you've left America and what you find out? No, it's the rest of the world and then it's America. You look at America now like it's just so happened to be where I'm from. You can live in any country you want now. I can. Me and Andre, dude, Andre and I are already laying down the blueprint for our next countries. Don't think that this Colombia is the grand finale. What? No. What y'all think we're visiting all these countries for? For not? No. Me and Andre on recon. Just like y'all be on recon when y'all went to the Philippines, I'm on recon. When we go to Southeast Asia, we looking around like, okay, all right, a little shum. We on recon when we go to other countries. Only America and Canada, the West teaches you can only do one country at a time. Your passport never said that. Your presidents treat you like that. Your congressmen, your local people in your community treat you like that. He said, Panama allows you to stay 6 months straight. Yep. He said, in the rest after 1 day, he said, and reset 1 day out of the country. Oh, wow. That's what's up. Panama also allows you to, if you got a layover in a flight layover, I forget, Panama allows you to do a day or 2 day layover. If you got a flight and you want to just reschedule it and just stay, let's say you come to Cali, and instead of going through Miami directly to Bogota, you go to Miami to Panama and then Cali. Panama has it that if you want to stay overnight or two, you can actually reschedule your flight and be in Panama with no problem. Panama gonna get that tourist money. Oh, yes, they are. Oh, yes, they are. Yeah, let's get started with the video. Let me turn this music down for us. This is a good video too today. And
so many people around the world.
in a second, let me remove that. And so that was Freetone, the app that I was using. Let me stop screen sharing. Let me add this.
What would you say they all have in common?
He was asking them, now this Jabril, this is the dude that got me started on my journey to Medellin, Colombia. Kid you not. If you guys wondering how I got started on Medellin, Colombia, Jabril, passport heavy, I was watching his video. Already had Colombian friends in Tampa and in Orlando. They've been trying to get me to go to Colombia for the longest. I did not go. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Right? Yep, corporate airline. Absolutely. And so I didn't go to Colombia, even though I was hanging out with Colombians in Tampa. That's all I hung out with, right? Colombians and Venezuelans, just in case y'all wondering where I started hanging out with. Yeah, it was in Tampa. Okay. And in Orlando too. I just so happened to turn on YouTube and I saw Jabril Passport Heavy video, and it was he was in Medellin. This was in 2016, early 2016, right before the election, and he compared the prices of Medellin top-notch restaurant and entertainment to New York City. I had never seen prices like that a day in my life. My jaw dropped. That can't be real. And he was in a 5-bedroom villa, him and his staff and everything. And I couldn't believe it. And that's what got the wheels turning to start following Tailor Made Dreams in DR as an expat, following Ace Live, who just so happened to be in Medellin. And that's when in Marwa, who started in Bogota, and then he moved to Medellin. That's when the wheels start turning in my mind. Let me go visit this. Okay, Colombian friends. I see what you guys are talking about. Let me go visit this Medellin that they speak of. And this is the guy that got me started on my journey. So just in case you guys are wondering how I got started, I saw Jabril Passport Heavy, this brother's video, when he went to Medellin. And so the guy is asking him question of, what are some of the common reasons that you see out of all the thousands of people that you've met leaving America? What are some of their top reasons for leaving?
You have met so many people around the world that have left the US. What would you say they all have in common?
Peace.
Say that again.
Anything else?
They're not living up to like the society expectations of what, doesn't matter if it's the UK, if it's the US, like the society pressures of you should be this way. I feel a lot of people get so tired of having to be a certain way. And when they leave, they're like, oh my God, this is my opportunity to be me.
I'm here in my community, the Village of Peace in Dimona, Israel. And this community is the largest concentration of African Americans outside of America, the largest concentration of vegans in the world. And can
you just imagine? And I met a brother that actually lived there. I did a consultation a couple weeks ago with a brother that actually was born and raised and at one point in time married in that group in Israel of Black Israelites that moved from the United States and have lived in that community, the Village of Peace. And he was just telling me all type of stories and things like that. He was like, it's a close-knit community, things like that. But yes, there are Black people going to other countries and establishing themselves. And you would never have thought that the largest population of African Americans would be in Israel.
The community has been dedicated since 1968 to promoting the principles of peace, of dignity, and of justice and security here in Israel for all men. However, anyone who's calling for the destruction of Israel is also including this community in that plan. So we'll do whatever is necessary to defend the state of Israel and all of its inhabitants, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Hebrews, everyone. As part of our dedication to peace, we've established in this community institutions, of which this is one of them, called the Dr. Martin Luther King SCLC Ben Ami Institute for New Humanity, through which we facilitated dialogue between Israelis, Palestinians, and others, with the purpose being to search and to find non-violent conflict resolution methods to allow us all to reside here in peace.
And they do, and they meet these other weirdos that have left the pod, and they're like, oh fuck, man, this feels good. I can be myself. And I would say that is the most common thing that I hear from the tens of thousands of people that I've talked to around the world.
This is what life's supposed to be like. All that shit that we was sold in America, you gotta get your credit score up, bro. You gotta get your credit score. Ain't no such thing as credit score down here. Ain't no such thing as three times the rent down here. Ain't no such thing as let me see your job. What's your job paying down here? Ain't no such thing as You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, you need a car down here. You don't need no car. Ain't no such thing as like all this shit might rent $2,000-$3,000 just to stay in a motherfucking box. And nigga, I stay $700 USD. You know what I'm saying? My electricity is like $20. Nigga, my Wi-Fi like $10. My Netflix is $8. My Prime is $6. May I go on? You know what I'm saying? This is how living an American dream is supposed to be. It's outside of America. America, we got a lot of opportunities, but it's like, nigga, you make $10,000, but your bill's $9,500. So who really winning?
If you don't quit preaching, you make $10,000, but your bill's $9,500. So who really winning? Absolutely correct.
You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be able to enjoy our lives, enjoy the fruits of our labor. A lot of people ain't enjoying the fruits of their labor. A lot of motherfuckers is working every single day, getting up, chasing them.
And any other characteristics that you see in those people?
I would say just fed up, tired, feel not heard, not seen, not safe, and just looking like the goalpost is always moving on them.
Not just China, but the rest of the world has a phrase for us. We are a third world country with a Gucci belt.
Just like my
Have
brother
a video go viral internationally? People from all over the world were commenting that. All over the world, they've been saying that about us.
Let me tell y'all exactly how I know they don't want you to leave America. I just got back from a trip to Thailand. I was there for 7 days. And just from being there and seeing the culture and stuff, I really noticed how different it was. Like, a lot of people think like Thailand's a third world country and all of that stuff, but it was actually like everything was literally better. The architecture, the culture, the food, the drinks, the fruit, everything was literally better, bro. The amount of peace that I felt out there was so much different from being home in America. Cause like out here, it's like literally all we can worry about is paying bills. Like a fucking alien could land a spacecraft and we're like, damn, we still got to pay bills though. Whereas in Thailand, it's like you can get an apartment for $200 and literally just enjoy your life. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just a coincidence that all these planes are crashing and shit, as if it seems like they don't want you to fly. They don't want you to fly away from here because the longer they can keep you ignorant, the longer they can keep profiting off of you. I think one of the most important things I learned in Thailand is that the reason that a lot of Asian people are so healthy is not only because of like the amount of sunlight they get every day with there not being literally any winter or anything like that, but they actually like take really good care of their skin health, and they actually use a lot of like really natural herbs and things like that. One of the best herbs that I found when I was over there is a herb called maroon. Maroon actually stands for moringa in English. Moringa is the most nutrient dense plant in the world. Types of things that it's good to help with is like gut health, good night's sleep, joint pain, lowering blood pressure, all types of stuff. But I think the main thing that I like to take it for is to balance my nutrition. Like 90% of Americans are nutrient deficient because, you know, most of the stuff we eat is processed foods with chemicals and shit. We eat cheeseburgers and french fries every day, and it's really not good for us. So we're not really getting the proper nutrition. So moringa is like a really good way to balance your nutrition. It pretty much like helps you not have a low immune system and things, especially with it being cold and flu season. So you're not getting sick all the time. This is the one I've been taking. It's called Rosabella moringa. It's actually harvested over there in Southeast Asia where I was just at. And it's actually sent to America and then third-party lab tested in the U.S. in a GMP facility. So that way you know everything you're taking is 100% safe. But yeah, I would highly suggest giving this stuff a try if you guys been having like bad gut health, like joint pain, not being able to get a good night's sleep, not getting enough nutrition, a lot of things like that. Definitely give this a try. And this is a good time to try them too, because normally these were $50 a bottle, but you can get 3 for like under $30 right now. But yeah, this is one thing that I brought back from Thailand into the country with me, and I'm going to continue to take this forever. I put it in the link down below. All right, peace out, y'all.
Somebody's watching me. It's my anxiety.
Not the United States. Third world, say it isn't so.
I don't know if I have something wrong with my brain, but I sit here on my lunch break and I just think about shit like the families and people in Hawaii that went through the fires, got pushed out of the state, that couldn't rebuild their homes, got a check for $750. The holidays are coming up. Like, how are they? Where are they? Are they okay? Same with the people in Asheville, North Carolina. The fucking numbers are staggering. They're saying it's like September 11th numbers in Asheville. The stench in that town is so disgusting because there's bodies under rubble that still can't be found, and it's the holidays. And the government does nothing. These aren't random people, it's US citizens that need the help, and they do nothing. Like, shit needs to change now, not fucking 5 years from now, 4 years from now, 3 years from now. Fucking now, man. People need help and they're just not getting it. And I'm fucking tired of it.
Let me put it this way. When my great-grandparents came here, it was either sink or swim. There was no government handouts. Now people come here and
that
they
was a
have
good
their
time.
handout,
And that was a good time for people. That promoted so much peace and serenity and prosperity for all, didn't it?
It built America.
Come on. No, yeah, it broke the backs.
How do you
of
think the
population.
skyscrapers were built?
Yeah,
How do you think
You know how many
built?
people? You know how many people perished on those skyscrapers? You know how many people? You know how many lawsuits resulted from the vast industrialization of this country on the back of a citizen population that could barely pay its rent? It was a bad time, dude. To glorify that.
Look at what it built.
A place for us to utilize and abuse. Awesome. So now,
so where would you rather live in North Korea or something?
Wow, that's so. Anything else?
Now, you see what he just said? Where would you rather live? North Korea or something? One of the things that you'll always notice about how Americans do, they always swing the pendulum to the extreme. They'll always pick in their mind the most impoverished. They'll instead of mentioning any of the progressive countries in Africa, they'll talk about where you want to move to, the Congo. They'll always swing the pendulum to the extreme. You want to move to what? To Ecuador, where they've got crime wars going on at the moment. You're moving to Mexico. You must want this. They're going to kidnap you. That's not all of Mexico. Mexico is a very large country. And if you want to come up missing, you can come up missing in the States just as fast as you can come up missing in Mexico. Americans love to swing that pendulum. Don't let them fool you guys. In regards to when you hear these things, don't ignore those kind of like buzz terms, buzzwords.
Do you want to say before the goalposts end up in another third world country?
Is so high. Insurance is through the roof. Groceries, your gas, all of your basic expenses, everything is just kind of eating away at all of your paycheck. And there's not much left behind anymore.
Let me actually just go try something else. And then also a bit of leadership. The people that I see are not the just head down, oh, I'm just going to follow everything else. Like, no, this is not working. So I am going to leave what is not serving me. So I'm going to leave that place. And that's a common thing. And yeah, they're more of the risk takers. They are the people that make change for themselves and say, if I'm going to save myself, I better do it because I don't know who's coming to save me.
All right, I bought my dream house in America, but I spend 90% of my time outside working my ass out to pay to keep my dream house.
Don't let that slide by. He said, I bought my dream house in America, but I spend 90% of my time outside of my dream house making money to pay for my dream house. But I've heard Americans mock us for not staying there, going broke with them. There are so many Americans like, y'all only moving to them third world countries. The rent is only $700. Well, that's the norm around the world, ma'am. The rent is only $1,000. It's like, wait a minute. So overpaying for the exact same apartment that I would be getting in Thailand is a flex. If Thailand told me that apartment is only $300 a month, but I came to the States and it's $3,000 a month, so that's a flex because I'm paying $3,000 a month for a apartment that normally would run $300 a month. You see how Americans sound? I never listen to Americans when they try to argue their point of the third world thing, or when they try to argue their point as if it's a flex. If you can't afford to live in America, just say it. Nobody can afford to live in America. Rich can't afford to live in America. I mentioned to you guys last year, Black Friday, Walmart said that their biggest customer base that increased were millionaires. I was watching an interview, and I mentioned this to you guys before. I was watching an interview with the CEO or the CFO of Walmart. And he said, our biggest growing customer base are millionaires. You're a millionaire and you have to shop in Walmart? That's how expensive America is. 50% of Americans don't even have $400 in their bank account. 85% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 40% of Americans that make $100,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. 35% of Americans that make over $250,000 a year are living paycheck to paycheck. 35%. If you're making $250,000 a year, you still waiting for the paycheck on Friday. Don't tell me America's not third world with a Gucci belt on. Y'all think because y'all can afford the Gucci belt that y'all not third world. But when you do when you run the numbers, America is third world. You sit back and say we got freedoms. Where? Where? America only has one freedom, to complain. And you better not complain too much. If we so free, how come we always got to censor what we say on social media? We can't call black women. We got to say BW. We can't say white people. We got to say YN, or I mean YT. We can't say them wild young brothers. We got to say YN, mean them young niggas. You got to say grape. He graped her. But we got freedoms. We got freedom to complain about that we don't have freedoms. That's as far as our freedoms go. We are free enough to be able to complain how we aren't free. I feel more free being able to pick and choose the country that I live in. I feel more free. No, I swear, and I know some of you guys can attest to this. I feel more free not having to keep up with the Joneses. Every commercial telling you that your car ain't good enough. I know that was the 2024, but we got the 2025, damn it. And your 2024 ain't it no more. I know you got a nice lawn, but your neighbor across the street got lawn and they hired a landscape artist. I know you got a 3-bedroom, but your cousin got a 5-bedroom. America always telling you whatever you do is not I swear I love that I'm free and I ain't got to worry about who says, well, Andre, I live in a 5-bedroom apartment in Cali. Cool. I live in a 3 and we live in the same neighborhood. Cool. You don't feel that pressure to keep up with somebody. I love our vehicle. We got our vehicle in 2021. We've got 39 kilometers on there. That's what we got on there, I believe. I'm not mistaken. 39,000, I'm sorry. 39,000 kilometers. Let me look that up in miles. 39,000 kilometers in miles would be only 24,200 plus miles. And we've had that car since 2020, brand new, pull it off the lot. Our car is quiet as a church. Our SUV is quiet as a church mouse. Push button starter. I kid you not. There's been plenty of times I've pushed the button because I thought the car was off, but it was still on, but it's so quiet. I don't feel like keeping up with the Joneses and I had that car for 5 years. I gotta get another one. Why? I gotta keep up with the Joneses. I ain't gotta wear no chains. If I was single, I ain't gotta wear no gold chains to get no ladies. I ain't gotta have the flyest Jordans. As long as my clothes clean and I smell good, I could get just about anybody that I wanted. In most of these countries. I'm free. Every day talking about my color. Oh my God. I feel so free where I don't have to talk about my color, just be my color. I could just be a man of color, and I ain't got to wake up every morning to somebody saying race, 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 race. That is tiring, exhausting. I'm free from that. And actually, nobody calls me black. They call me American. Nobody said, oh, there's a black American. No. Whatever country we go to, there's the American. If we run into some Asian couples, they are not Asian Americans, they're Americans. I love that, man. I have gone from my race to my nationality just because I use a passport. And some of you guys know what I'm talking about. You are no longer just your race. Yes, you are your race, but I'm not just my race. And my race is no longer dominant. I go back to the States, my race is dominant. Outside the States, my nationality is dominant. What are you? He's American. Okay, I got it. Nobody says negro americano. That's a negro americano. Nobody. That don't even sound right. It's just a regular americano. That feels good. I'm free to live in any country I want to, except for maybe North Korea. I can live in any country I want to, as long as I follow their laws. I'm free. America told me you can't live in no other country but America. If you go to Canada, you stupid. If you go to UK, you bougie. Man, it feels so good to be free, bruh. Americans, I'm gonna tell you this. You don't know freedom until you get out of America. And then I watched this video of this one Asian chick who always hyping up America. She comes from either China or Taiwan, somewhere where the freedom of speech wasn't as free, right? So she's like, you Americans are always taking for granted your country. You don't know what it's like to live in a country where you couldn't do this or you couldn't do that. The opportunities weren't there. I say, yeah, I agree with you. You come from an extreme country. But I'm going to tell you something before we go back to the video. I noticed something about those people that move. I don't care if they're African. I don't care if they're Asian. I don't care if they're from Europe. I noticed one thing that all those people have in common that come to America and hype America up. You ready? They ain't never been no damn where else but America. They ain't never been, let me go to Canada first and then see if I like America. Or let me shoot to UK or Spain, Portugal. Then let me compare. They go from their little small village in their small country to America and then compare America to their small village in their small country and say, Americans, you just don't know how easy you have it. You should be happy. No, go to some other countries, ma'am, and then compare America to some other countries. Don't be comparing America to your small village. And they all do that. That's the one thing I noticed, that every person that comes to America, I don't care if they come from the Caribbean, I don't care if they come from a small part in Africa, they've never been anywhere else but the U.S. If you ask them, if you lined up 10 immigrants that got green cards or American citizenships and asked them, where else have you been? Most of them ain't been no damn where else but America. So they ain't got nowhere to compare America to. That's why you always hear you Americans should be so grateful. No, you need to travel and then come back and see what Americans are saying about we aren't as free as you think we are, because you came from a small village and you comparing your experience in your small village to a large country called America. They don't never travel. They never leave. Maybe because their green card don't allow them to leave, because that's true, until they get their citizenship. I don't know what it is, but I noticed that common thread among people, and people like, well, my grandfathers were immigrants and all that. I don't care if your granddad came over on a raft. Cool. Shout out to granddad. But I got news for you. You ain't been nowhere to compare nowhere. Most Americans ain't been nowhere most Americans ain't even been to Canada. I'm gonna say this again. Don't think most of us have been to Canada. The only reason I've been to Canada because I'm a Detroiter. And Detroit is Canada, and Canada is Detroit. That's like Buffalo. Buffalo is New York. I mean, Buffalo is close enough to, in certain parts of New York, are close enough to Canada to where they dang near Canada. Man, most Americans talk and ain't been nowhere. And most immigrants that relocate to America ain't been nowhere except that small ass village that they was in Africa, that small ass village that they were in Europe, that small ass village that they were in Asia, that small ass village that they come from in South America. You done escaped Venezuela, made it to America, and now you want to say you Americans don't know how good y'all got it. How do you know? What other countries have you been to? I'm not talking about walk through. I'm talking about visit, lived, and been to. And most of these people have never been no damn where else except that small ass village or that small city in the United States. Go somewhere that you can compare America to. Then if you decide to say America is the greatest of greats, cool. You can't even say that about our food. We ain't even got the healthiest, dude. America is at the point where we can't even call our food food. We can't sit back. If somebody say, hey, what type of food y'all got in America? Well, technically we ain't got food. We now eat food-ish. Yeah, I noticed that. Let me go back to the video for you guys. I don't want to hold you up, but I noticed that people that be hyping up America ain't never been nowhere but America. So how do you know? How do you know? If you landed in, if you sold me a car, and that's the only car I ever drove in my life, was a Fiat. You roll up in your Lamborghini. I'm telling you, you don't know nothing about cars. You a fool. Why? You should have bought a Fiat. Why should I give up a Lamborghini for a Fiat? Because that's all I've ever driven. So that's all I know. As soon as you introduce, whoever was introduced me to Fiats, I thought that Fiats were it. You couldn't tell me that any other car wasn't it. That's all I've ever driven. And if America is the only country that you ever landed in as an immigrant, or your grandmama or your grandcousin or your granddaddy ever landed in, and you ain't never took your ass nowhere since they've been there, your granddaddy got there from Cuba. If you ain't been nowhere since your granddaddy came there in 1964, you can't compare America to nowhere else. You ain't been nowhere. Man, my grandfather came over here on a ride from Cuba, man. My family appreciate being in America. I bet they do compared to Cuba. Go somewhere that your granddaddy didn't get a chance to go to, then compare America to that. We don't compare. Man, it's sad. Let's continue on. Let's continue on. I don't want to ramble.
What is the essence of buying a dream house that I cannot enjoy my dreamland in peace? What is the essence? You get to the point now. This is the reality of many people in America. Listen, don't buy your dream house when you're still struggling. Buy an average house that you can work less to pay and build up your equity to buy your dream house if necessary. You get to the point now. American dream is not 2 to 3 jobs. So American dream is an ideology, and if you are busy working your ass out to pay to keep your dream house, you will not be able to process the idea that enables you to pursue your American dream.
Okay, so this is for all the people in my comment section saying if you don't like it here, you can leave. That's fine. I already have. And I, along with 10 million others that are living and working outside of the United States, have a better quality of life because of it. My question to all of you is, why do you want to stay? Seriously, because as far as I can see, the United States is on a steady decline. Our government is in pockets of corporate lobbyists. They are taking away rights. Do you honestly think that just because other people's rights are being taken away right now and they're not affecting you, that they're not going to come after your rights too? Have you read the Restrict Act? The U.S. government and its mainstream propaganda machine have conditioned you into believing that everything out there is bad and everything in here is good.
You notice that? She's absolutely correct. The propaganda machine that's been around since the 20s to convince Americans that everything outside of America is bad and everything in America is good.
When in fact, you're sleeping with the enemy. To me, this sounds like a bunch of frogs in a pot. Here you are with your willful ignorance and your cognitive dissonance, and you have absolutely no idea that they're turning up the heat and they're boiling you alive. George Carlin was right when he said they call it the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
And just fun people, and also still people that also still love their country, but they're like, man, I've been doing this for 30 years, 40 years. How much longer am I going to do this? I'm going to die soon. Am I going to die trying or actually do something different? Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
I always find it ironic that in places called third world countries, the quality of life can be so much more vibrant, invigorating, filled with real relationships, laughter, joy, that we don't get here in the US. For example, when I would go to Jamaica growing up, I always noticed that work wasn't as much of a priority. And then I realized that in the US, we live to work, and in other countries, they work to live. In the US, we value our luxuries. We love having things. We go to Amazon, we click, we buy. It's a ton of consumerism. It's a ton of prioritizing these material things, but we don't prioritize human connection the same way.
Don't go to Colombia. You might get robbed, killed, or kidnapped. These are all things my friends and family told me before coming to Colombia. For the past 3 weeks, I could say that couldn't be further from the truth. The only thing that I have found here has been beautiful, loving, hospitable locals that are more than eager to show me the inner workings of their beautiful cultures. Not at a single moment have I ever felt unsafe or in danger. I have found beautiful sceneries, incredible adventures, and this is not what they talk about on the media. The perception in the media is Colombia is a drug-ridden country that is dangerous. But being in the center of it, being in the weeds, I could say that really couldn't be further from the truth. This is a country full of love, adventure, and a great time. I think it's time the United States media, along with everybody else, actually comes to Colombia and changes their perception.
So many people say, don't visit Colombia, it's dangerous, don't go. And I feel like I have to say this because we are in Medellin, Colombia for past 2 weeks, and the people here, it blows my mind. The people here are one of the kindest, nicest, the most welcoming and friendly people we have ever met in our life. Every day we leave our Airbnb, I'm getting goosebumps by how nice the people here are. I understand why Colombia has a bad reputation. However, you really should not be sleeping on this country. It has beautiful nature, beautiful people, amazing things to do. I don't think I have ever felt so welcome somewhere in the world as I do in Colombia. I'm not even lying. Just go to Colombia.
This is 100% true. Your Colombian boyfriend brings you to a family party. It's 5 a.m. and they just opened the 10th bottle of aguardiente. Yes, the music, it could be 5 o'clock in the morning, dude, and the speakers are out, the music is blaring, and everybody is still drinking. Yes. And plus, for example, the month of June, there are 3 holiday weekends. That means 3 3-day weekends during the month of June. You know they're going to act a fool in Colombia. They are going to act a fool in Colombia. This is so true. I've done that with Andrea's family. I'd be like, goodness gracious, we still going. When I first came down here, I had to get used to the party hours. Damn, what are you playing?
Bro, I think I'm in love. With who? With this girl. Her name is Yoseris. She said she really likes me. She said I was different from all the other tourists that come here, bro.
Dude, I promise you, she is saying that to every American that comes through here.
Nah, bro, this is different. This is real, bro. She keep calling me Poppy.
This y'all dudes when y'all come to Colombia.
Bro, I think I'm in love.
With who?
With this girl. Her name is Yoseris. She said she really likes me. She said I was different from all the other tourists that come here, bro.
Dude, I promise you, she is saying that to every American that comes through here.
Nah, bro, this is different. This is real, bro. She keep calling me Poppy.
She's just trying to get money out of you. I promise you, she's saying.
Nah, bro, she got her own job. She said she's a chapeadora.
Bro, that means like a gold digger, dude. That's what that means.
Nah, bro, I don't think she works in the mines, dog.
There's no way you're this stupid. There's no fucking way.
She even got a cute little nickname for me, too. She called me Puta. This might be the one, bro.
I promise you, not every girl that calls you Poppy is the one.
Alright, bro, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the ATM.
For what?
Marisol needs a retainer, bro. Her teeth are fucked up.
Who the fuck is Marisol?
Her daughter. Well, I guess she's my daughter now, too.
Jesus Christ, this is why I cannot take you anywhere, bro.
I'm just trying to be a good dad, bro.
You're
That's
not
it.
a fucking...
Living in the West, it's a very I-focused society. So we are focused on ourselves, our gain, our lives, our world. And when you go to another country where it's more we-centric, it's less individualistic and more of a collective, there's just this level of laughter and joy and connection. In Jamaica, we party with each other. We party with our friends, our family. They may not have as much monetarily, but they have so much more joy. They're gonna play dominoes, they're gonna connect, they're gonna meet up, they're gonna talk. Those types of things don't happen in the US as much because we're all so busy doing business. We all got our own things going on. It's big as hell. You're all the way in this state, I'm all the way in that state. It's just not the same kind of environment that fosters those really deep connections. So whenever quality of life comes up and is in question,
I
I
know,
always
Esco.
find it ironic because in my mind, there is way more than one definition of a good quality of life. And I guess it really depends on what variables you look at to decide what is quality.
Now, let's start with the first challenge, and that is that your boundaries are not always respected when it comes to privacy. You know, growing up in Germany, which is a quite individualistic society, people really value privacy. They don't like it when you come to their home without announcement. Being born and raised in Germany, even I myself, despite being raised in an Ethiopian household, I enjoyed, valued, and also respected this level of privacy a lot. That means I would never go to somebody else's home without notice. And so when I moved to Ethiopia, that was a whole different story. I was tested over and over again. And at first it made me so uncomfortable. Imagine, even when family members, I have a brother, for instance, who lives in Addis Ababa. And one time it was a Sunday morning and my plan was to work, because I work 24/7 basically.
Shout out to my man Obadiah for the $5 love. Appreciate you. And shout out to you brothers that are joining the Patreon. I'm going to drop the link for the Patreon. Let's continue on.
And so he pulled up with the whole gang, came with his 3 children, with his wife, with his sister-in-law. In total, they were like around 10 people. I was overwhelmed. I just got out of bed and they were already knocking on the gate. And that was so unusual for me. And I will be honest with you, I didn't like that. And I didn't know how to explain to him that I would like to be informed when they decide to come over to my place, right? I must admit I was too ashamed and not confident enough to tell him that this makes me feel uncomfortable. And that is also because he's my bigger brother and I respect him a lot. And so I played it cool. I just asked him what's going on. And he was like, what do you mean what's going on? It's Sunday, get ready, we're going to church. And I was like, no, please. I believe in God, but I'm not the type of person that goes to church every Sunday. And so he forced me to step out of my comfort zone. And on top of feeling uncomfortable, he kind of forced me to get up and join them to church.
Now stop right there. Did you catch the gold? She said her family, her community, held her accountable. They were at her house first thing in the morning, dragging her to church, and she didn't like it. Why? Because it made her feel uncomfortable. Exactly. Accountability is uncomfortable. This right here is everything that's missing in the West. People here talk about being spiritual or religious, but nobody's living it. No structure, no pressure, no standard, just vibes and Instagram quotes. And definitely no big brother knocking at your door telling you to stop being lazy and come to church. She didn't want to go, but she went. Why? Because she had no choice. That's culture. That's community. Meanwhile, in the West, the average woman can do whatever she wants, however she wants, with 0 consequences. And if you even suggest accountability, you're labeled controlling or toxic. But now, listen to what happened after that church visit.
And so that's what I did. I got my kids ready. We went to church, and after church, we went to a beautiful restaurant to have breakfast together. And let me make it short. That day was one of the most beautiful days. It is so ingrained in my memory, the feelings that I felt. I don't really remember what exactly happened on that day, but it was a day full of love. It was a day that reminded me that there are way more important things in life than just work. And maybe I came to appreciate the quality time that I had with my family and friends who came unannounced, right? That I came to value them more because, they say you don't know what you got until it's gone. And so when I had to leave Ethiopia overnight because of a devastating genocidal war that broke out, that was targeting my specific ethnic group, the Tigrayans, I had to leave them behind. and I cried like a baby. I felt so bad for leaving them behind. And even though the war was at its very early stage and people were telling me, oh, you're leaving for nothing, it's not going to be so bad, you know, all this gaslighting from people who were secretly supporting this war, deep down I knew that I'm not going to see my family for a very long time. And that is maybe why I cherish this moment so much today. And it also taught me that sometimes we are too focused on ourselves and busy with our own lives that we forget what is happening around of us, that we miss out the chance of building real connection with the people around us. And this is actually what truly matters in life, right? My mom always loves to remind me that the day we die, we are leaving with none of our riches, with none of our material things. And she's right. It doesn't matter how much money you make or how successful you are with your job. What truly matters, I believe, in the end is the connections that we build.
Boom. That's it. That's why men are cashing in their frequent flyer miles and taking their talents overseas. Not for just submissive women. No, it's the culture that produces those women. Cultures where connection, family, and values actually matter. In the West, it's all about flex culture. Get the bag, chase the clout, buy the Tesla, post the vacation. And meanwhile, people are miserable and alone. The irony? She had to leave the West to realize that the best parts of life have nothing to do with how much you spend and everything to do with who you spend it with. But here's the red flag. She had no choice there, just like she would have no choice adapting to Western norms if she came back. That same Ethiopian woman who wakes up for church with her family, bring her to New York or LA. And 6 months later, she's on TikTok talking about my truth and how she's too independent to settle. That's not slander. That's how environments work.
How many souls we touched, how many people we inspired, how we helped others. And so, yeah, this is something I feel it has its benefits, right? The respect for boundaries and privacies in the Western societies. However, from my own experience, I feel that people are very disconnected from each other, or they have quite shallow relationships. I must say the connection that I built with my brother and the connection that my children were able to build with their cousins, right, with my brother's children, is only because he violated my boundaries of privacies. And I'm so grateful for that.
Does anyone, a fellow American in this case, relate to the feeling of absolutely loving going on vacation outside of the country, but then finding it so painfully depressing to return here? And I'm asking because I'm feeling this so deeply on my first full day back from a family trip to Mexico. Sure, I'm sure that the town now, sadly for the locals, caters to tourists, but you still got to feel like you were immersed in the culture and the vibe of the locals. And I love that feeling of connecting with the locals and feeling like these are my peoples in spite of the language barrier. And it's a feeling that I've had in so many places, like the Dominican Republic, where we weren't supposed to venture off the resort that we were staying at, but we did, or Costa Rica and Puerto Rico and so many other places. And interestingly, that these are my people feeling has never happened for me in America. And I was born and raised here. I was born in Brooklyn before that person shows up and tells me to go back to where I came from if I hate America so much. It's not even that I hate America. It's that I just have my entire life felt like I don't belong here. Like I'm not from here. I don't relate to life here. And as such, I've been tormented by this feeling, especially when it came to my visiting the motherland.
Life is too short. You know, I don't want to look back and go, why did I worry about that thing? And so guess what? I don't worry anymore. I don't care. I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to enjoy it. Get on with it. You got one go around. Make the most of it.
Before I lose my mind, let the sun shine. I say, hey, day by day, trouble's gonna fade.
75 years. That's how much time you get if you're lucky. 75 years, 75 winters, 75 springtimes, 75 summers, and 75 autumns. When you look at it like that, it's not a lot of time, is it? Life is too fucking short to fuck around.
That one life, live it to the best of our ability, from the beginning to what's said the end.
We're all gonna die.
Yeah, that was that Willie Cologne. That was DJ. Life.
I'm sorry if maybe this is getting to you a little late, but what are you worrying about? What are you so stressed out about? Life is too short. Stop worrying. It's okay. Everything is supposed to be this way. You're supposed to feel this. It's part of the process. Life is supposed to be a journey, is it not? This is part of it. Take it. Absorb it. It's all part of the process. Trust the process, my friend. Trust me when I say this. Trust the process. It's so important. Build your character and love yourself even when it's hard. I love you. Stay up. Stay up.
I think I'll take my whiskey neat, my coffee black and my bed at 3. You're too sweet for me.
That's living right there. That's living right there.
Here's the funny thing about life. You are not going to grow up and wish that you had traveled less. And you are certainly not going to grow up and wish that you had settled down sooner. Traveling has taught me more about life than any book, movie, show, class, or anything else ever will. The reality is that you're only young for so long, and tomorrow is never promised. So at the end of the day, you might as well just make the most of it.
That is the grand finale in regards to the video. And they absolutely, the reason why I ended it like that is we only get one life, one time, one chance. That's it. That's it. That trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to look good for the ladies in the States, trying to, bruh, every time you buy a brand new pair of Jordans or something that's unnecessary, let's put it like that, you could have used that money towards a flight. That could have paid for an Airbnb. That could have paid for an excursion. That could have paid for a date. Half the stuff, the one thing I love about travel, half the stuff that you need to flex in the States isn't even acceptable when you're traveling. Nobody cares. So guys, 2020, 25 is here. Make sure that you schedule at least one trip, man, somewhere. At least one trip. If you haven't been anywhere, man, one trip to Dre, I ain't got the money for it. You'll come up with it. I promise you. You'll come up with it. Well, my name is Andrea of Andrea and Andrea's Love Crossing Borders. Tomorrow, you guys got Andrea. And then I'll be seeing you guys again on Friday. But I hope this video helped you guys out in regards to just keeping you encouraged when it comes to travel and your plans of relocating in the future.